And we are live. What's going on, YouTube family? What's going on, Facebook family? Thank you for joining us. You're tuned in to the Vocal Soapbox, aka also known as the Nitpickers. This show is where we harness the power of logic and use analytical tools to extrapolate ideas to achieve a deeper understanding of the world that's around us. I am your gracious host, Enos. I'm here with the family, man. Here with my respected colleagues, people I consider friends, and I'm gonna go ahead and introduce them. What's going on, Derek?
What's up, man? Thanks for having me on the show again. I'm ready to have some fun.
Absolutely, and you see his name is at Derek Bain. Please follow. He does a lot of good content on TikTok, man. Be sure to follow and check out some of his videos. And to my left, man, Vulcan. What's going on? We back,
What's
bro.
going on, everybody? Excited to get into the topic today. We got a little less on the panel than we had before, but that just means we're going to be to get a little more in depth, perhaps, and it's still going to be a great time. It's live now. If y'all don't mind out there listening to us, if y'all can subscribe, share. We love to have comments from the audience. We love to get into questions that people have and stuff like that. And let's get into it. We're ready to go.
Yeah, let's get into it. This is part two. We started off with the Cam Newton interview. He interviewed Dr. Bryant. What's the name? Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. That's the name. Psychologist. And we did part one, analyzing a deep breakdown of the interview. So we're gonna do part two. We don't have everybody we had before, but we're gonna go ahead and continue and finish off this video and give you some good content. All right. All right, so let's start off with the video where we left off from last week. Let me know if y'all can see the video, man. There we go. All right, here we go.
No, I don't even believe that, but no.
Okay. So, what identifies a woman to be high functioning?
A high functioning woman is a woman who wants you. She doesn't need you. And let me clear that up. When I say she doesn't need you, it doesn't mean she's independent. That means she is interdependent. I only not need you because my pain doesn't need your pain. My dysfunction doesn't need your dysfunction to feed it for us to be in this relationship, meaning I don't need a trauma bond with you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. She wants you because she wants the healed part of you, but has the capacity, because we're all human, we ain't perfect, to facilitate and deal with the unhealed part of you that's going to show up in the relationship at some point. And hers is going to show up too. Mine is going to show up too.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why I always say, I want a hybrid. I want a hybrid for y'all out there who want to know, meaning a man who's high functioning enough to meet my healthy high functioning, but low functioning enough to deal with me when my abandonment inflames, to deal with me when some of my dysfunctions that I'm still working on inflame. Because if he's too high functioning, guess what? He doesn't have the bandwidth to deal with the low functioning part, which then means he can only connect with folks who are not being fully authentic within themselves. Meaning you may have a loving relationship, but you won't have a real intimate, deep, vulnerable relationship. I'm a woman who seeks connection and vulnerability. I'm not into casualties or casual sex, just TMI or not, meaning I like the depth of things. And so I need you to see me. I need you to see my broken. I want you to see my heart, whatever that comes with. And I'm not embarrassed about it. I'll tell you about it. I'll show it to you. And I'm okay with a man who can facilitate it. But what a high functioning man may do is if he's all the way high functioning, he has already cut off the side of him that is authentic, and there's a superficialness there that won't allow him to connect with a real person. So can he still love and experience love? Yeah, love has it just loves everything. But will he experience the depth of some of the wholeness of love, meaning the down, the up, the ugly, the heaven, the hell mom was talking about? No. And let me say this really quick. And this is why trauma bonds.
All right. I want to play that just the beginning part again. Hold on, just bear with me. Hold on. Just make sure.
So you gonna play the
All right.
beginning part again? Okay.
Yeah.
I just wanted to be dead air, so I had to say something.
All right. Hold on. Here we go.
Low functioning men, did they ever say that a man of high function will never really know true love?
No, I don't even believe that, but no.
Okay.
Fair use.
So, what identifies a woman to be high functioning?
A high functioning woman is a woman who wants you. She doesn't need you. And let me clear that up.
Okay, that's what I wanted to do right there. I want to make sure I play that part. All right, first question. First question. Do you agree that it's better to want someone than need them? Do you agree with that? Start with Derek.
Yes, I agree.
Okay. All right, let's go with Vulcan.
I'm gonna go disagree on this one.
All right, I'm gonna disagree too. Let's go ahead explain, Derek, why you agree.
Well, I think when somebody needs you, and I'm saying this statistically, and I'm assuming that you've got two level-headed people, and we all can choose to be with whoever we want to be with. I would prefer somebody to be with me because they want to be with me, not because they need me. I've actually been asked that question by a young lady, and her question was, "Do you need me?" And my answer was, "No. I want you." And for me, I think that holds more weight because it's a choice that I'm making, and it's not an indirect choice of there's something wrong with me, lost in me, short in me that makes me need you. But then we this is one of these words, need, that we may have three different opinions on what that word means. We might have to have a baseline and a context of that. But just going based off of what she's saying, I would, yeah, definitely want somebody that wants me versus needs me.
Yeah, I would see. It's tough, like you said. It depends how we define it. I would say no. My reason saying no because a want is more like it's essential for survival. It's a survival. It's functioning. I I put the needs. I put it in the same category as food, water, shelter, and I think in a relationship, it can go both ways. You can need somebody. Women can need a man that protects them, or if I could do an analogy like the police. Okay, we of course we want the police to come to our aid, but we also need the police too because of the environments we are in, or the element of this of the way this country is going, or just all around the world. And I look at wants are more like it's aligning with desires, so that's different from needs. So I think, or even I give an example for women as far as protection. For men who wants to carve their lane out in this world, um, build or have some type of legacy, you need to have a woman to bear your kids to continue on that legacy. You need that. You need children in order for your legacy to continue. So that's a different from wanting. I'm gonna go with Vulcan. What's your thoughts on that?
Wait. Before you go to the master over here, um, there's that dichotomy right there.
Mhm,
Everything you just described is what I see in the word want,
mhm.
but I also see it from your point of view using it in the word need. So there's that I don't know, that weird dichotomy of them two words. Uh, I agree with everything you just said, but from the want standpoint.
Mm,
But
okay.
anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Vulcan.
So for me, it's I think both y'all brought up really good points. And when we say which one's better, is it better to want or need? We had to finish that idea off by saying for what and to what end, right? And that's what we. So that's why I think it was going to be a lot of latitude we can all take and how we would see it moving forward, like which way we think it should go. So So that being the case, I think that how I'm going to take it is just comparing, let's say 1,000 years ago, when women needed men, like literally they didn't have the strength to work to till the ground, to keep the lion and the tiger and the bear at bay. When there were there was no tampons and all these different kind of things where they actually needed men to function there in certain times of the month and to get basic things done, to be to eat. They weren't going to kill the buffalo, all that kind of stuff. I'm going to take it as relationships were and family structure was stronger at that time than they are now. Now, if we're talking about happiness and what feeds my ego, I think for most people, telling somebody saying, "Hi, I want you. I don't need you, but I want you," might feed my ego more. I'm not. I don't mean that. I don't mean ego in a bad way either. I mean just a healthy view of yourself and desire to want to be wanted and not needed. To kind of play the other side would be like if you got somebody who's hanging around you because they like to be around you. We much more prefer that than somebody who needs to be around you. They're broke. They don't got a car. Somebody might even say he's only around you because you got the car. That would feel terrible, right? So in that sense, I can definitely agree with Derek's point about that point. But I think just if I'm taking it for society purposes, it seems like when you need something, it helps keep everything in proper perspective. Whenever you just want it, especially we're talking about, I'm not saying this doesn't apply to men, but on the ladies' side, desires change, wants change. Just to kind of use an example, this typically the studies that I've seen on this topic tend to bear this out, and I'll close it out so y'all can speak to it. But just when ladies tend to cheat, they tend to fall. Over 50% of the time, I think it's closer to 70-80% of them, they actually fall in love with the guy that they're cheating with.
Yeah.
Men, it's like 30% of the time. So ladies, they're a lot more likely for their wants and desires to lead them in a different direction. Because just like they got into it, the way they can get out of it. And the things I think, so I don't know if that's good for the family structure. I think over 80% of divorces, or close to 80% of divorces, are filed by women. I don't know if it's good for society or the family itself if they place their desire for coupling in the want. I think if it's a need there, they're more likely to stay for more reasons than just their feelings.
No, I can get with that. I could totally get with that. And it's funny though, even as you explain that, I don't know why my brain still views it as, you know what it is when you've got somebody who maybe have the propensity to treat somebody bad, or there's a hidden agenda, they might answer this question even differently from us. I'm thinking it from a good man perspective, who will do right by a person, who has my thoughts leveled. I'm thinking everything that you just said, the family structure, the desire with the woman and all of that, my brain is still on the want, but I understand the need. Like I get it. Like it's like these both of them. I can, if you were to say something on the want, I would agree. If you said something on the on the need, it's kind of weird.
Well, because I think part of it is that we're making it either or for the sake of the question, but ideally we'd want both, right?
Yeah,
Ideally we want both. But if we only could have one, I think that need is more sustainable, and it's just a stronger foundation.
It is. You know what I think I did when I initially, when I heard or thought need, I instantly went to the pain factor of it, not the rational factor of it. Like what you just explained, that's like, oh yeah, no, that's the healthy mind looking at what it means to need somebody. I totally get that. But I think where my mind went first was need, because of the example you gave with the friend. He's only hanging around with you because you got the car. So that's what I was thinking first. But no, I totally agree with that now.
Yeah. Okay. I can see that. So I guess try to understand what you're saying, Derek. I guess are you saying the way people, you might be concerned about the person's motives in the needs?
Yes.
Like, Okay. Like,
Yeah,
oh, they're
because
just hanging around because.
the person that asked me this question was hoping that I needed her,
Mm.
but the need, the reason for wanting the need wasn't healthy. And so for me, I was like, no, I want you. I don't need you, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But
Well, let me address that too, because and we have to get into this, and this is definitely going to be controversial, but I don't think it's the same on both sides.
okay,
I
true.
think that for a man, a woman should want him because women don't like needy men anyway. Men don't mind needy women.
Yeah, that's right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, all of us in our personal experience knows that, and all those who have sisters, your sister asking your parents for money is different than you asking your parents for money.
Yeah,
That's just the way of life.
yeah.
You're a man. Figure it
Basic.
out.
Yeah,
You see what I'm saying? So I would say that's a distinction too. So her wanting you to need her is probably her being overzealous and trying to be able to control you in some kind of way.
100%.
You know, and manage her and get her ego, filled. But the reality is that women don't like needy men.
Yeah,
So it doesn't even work that way anyway.
yeah,
So I would say that point. But women, if they don't feel like they need the man, then they typically will just move on as soon as they can find something better.
you're exactly right. As soon as them feelings change, or as soon as as soon as they wake up and you know what, I just don't want this anymore. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Mhm.
no, I agree with you.
All right, we got comments. Shout out to Dr. A. Williams. You look at Dr. Bryant, and you want what she says. And if you want her with all the trauma, if you want her with all the trauma and the issues that she brings, okay, I guess that's a question
I can
mark.
I can
Yeah.
give the I can give Dr. Williams a song.
Go ahead.
What about you? What
Hell
about
to the
you?
no, no.
Did Do Re Mi? The tune right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
no, no. Yeah. So I would answer that too. I would definitely say, if I want her, I mean, I think that she's aesthetically appealing enough that I desire her in some ways. But would I want her in a relationship capacity? No. But it is not primarily for what Dr. A said, which is all of her trauma and stuff. It's when I listen to her philosophy about life, we would just be in constant conflict
Yeah.
because she's one, she's accomplished, she's got money, she doesn't need to listen to anything I got to say. That goes to
Because
that
she's been
need thing again.
rewarded. Hmm.
She doesn't need to listen to me. She even talks about this on one. I don't know if we're gonna get into this. She talks about it when she's with the alpha guy who she had to submit to. You know what I'm saying? She loved it because that guy, she knew she needed to submit to it. She needed to do that stuff, and so she did it. But a guy that's like, he's cool, but he ain't got more money than me, or he ain't more accomplished than me. She don't need to listen to the guy.
Yep.
She ain't gonna listen to the guy.
Yep.
All right.
But
Before I
yeah,
was going to ask another question, I think it's best for us to go ahead and play the video again. Because I don't know if y'all heard her definition for low functioning. So let me just go ahead and play it again so
the
we
whole
can,
video that was like 2 minutes.
Yeah. I no, I
well,
I,
from
re-
what
I
was.
remember her low functioning rationale. I,
Mhm.
if there was a question coming from that, I definitely don't agree with what she said on
Yeah.
that.
You have another question
Okay.
lined up? You know?
Yeah, I was just going to ask you, do you agree? Because she said she prefer a hybrid, uh,
I'm
one
prepared to
high.
speak on that. I look at
Yeah,
the
me
video.
too.
Okay, so without the video, we go ahead and speak on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so so do you agree with her definition of? Well, let me start off with. Do you agree with her definition of low functioning?
No.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I definitely don't agree with her definition of low functioning either, or high
Okay,
functioning for that matter.
and then like
Well,
follow
and again, I
up
don't I
quote.
don't completely disagree. I'm sure if me and her sat down and she wrote every single part of what it meant, in bullet point fashion, I'm sure I'm gonna see things. Oh yeah, that's definitely high functioning. That's
Mhm.
definitely high functioning. But the way she's using it right now to make a point that's way in left field, definitely don't agree
Mm.
with it.
Yeah.
Well, do you want a hybrid? Do you want a hybrid of a low functioning or a high functioning mate? Would y'all want that?
I don't want any definition of what she's trying to describe. I want a woman who knows who she is and is able to be there when it's good and be there when it's bad and function appropriately within any of those scenarios. I think that's fair.
So sorry to interrupt real quick, but is it showing live on y'all's end? Mine's not showing live.
It's showing live.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's showing live on my end.
All right.
Yeah,
I'm
because
gonna,
her
I'm
definition.
gonna refresh mine while y'all are talking. I'm gonna refresh my page while y'all are talking.
Okay.
Yeah, her definition is not as clear and concise for me to even agree with her definition.
Yeah.
Because I was trying to find, and when I was listening to it, whenever this video came out, I was like, all right, what's the definition? I never heard these terms before, so I think I came across one source. I think it was a Psychology Today. When they was speaking on really what's a functioning person,
Hmm.
and I guess just to sum it up, and don't quote me on the source, I can't remember. It was
Yeah. Yeah.
one who has certain mental clarity that allows them to be more productive. So so when I asked the question earlier, do you want a hybrid or a hybrid functioning person, meaning low hybrid? I mean a low functioning and a high functioning person. I said that I wouldn't personally. I wouldn't want anybody like that either. You know, because you want somebody. Because she said when she's in her low functioning time, she wants the person to have low function, so he will be able to.
It was
I
almost like
forgot
be
how
able
she.
to deal with it is
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
absolutely
that
right.
and
And this goes to what I was saying about her earlier. So I just jumped back in after getting back on, but it goes to what I was saying about her earlier, which is that I was saying she makes excuses for her bad decisions. She knows she has a lot of trauma. She knows she's a lot to deal with,
She
and so it's
emphasized
like,
that a lot. A lot
yeah.
of answers, she kept
yeah,
bringing up her trauma. I noticed
yeah.
that. But go
And
ahead,
because
finish.
she knows she's a lot to deal with, she knows, and she said it very well. She knows a guy who's high functioning wouldn't deal with it.
Hmm.
Yep.
But instead of so what she said, I want a hybrid. But why would you want low functioning anything?
Yeah.
Now we recognize nobody's perfect. We're gonna have to accept. We have to pick. You heard the saying. We have to pick our crazy, right? We all have to pick our crazy
Yeah.
that we're gonna deal with, and they have to do that with us as well. But her saying she wants a hybrid is a telling admission that she realizes that a guy who has his stuff together and is not tolerating no foolishness is gonna just dismiss her. But my issue with what she did it, she put a negative stigma of saying that he wouldn't have the bandwidth, or it's not an issue with
Yeah.
him.
It's
There's no issue in him. He's not going to deal with tomfoolery. That's all it is.
yeah.
And a lot of people would say he shouldn't deal with that.
Yeah. And I
Yeah.
was like, when she said she almost made the high functioning man sound like, well, no, because he's only going to be one level and that's it. And I was
Yeah.
thinking, I was like, no, a high functioning man who's clear in his thinking, when you are in your low vibrational state or whatever that is, a high functioning man can absolutely help you in that. But what she just said was what Falcon said. She told on herself. She told on herself
Exactly.
big time. I don't want no high functioning man telling me what is right. I want him. I want a hybrid so he will lower himself and deal with my BS.
Yes. And the difficulty with that is that, I mean, obviously, there's obvious difficulties with it. One of them is you don't get to pick what the low functioning aspects of them are going to be. So then when 2 years go down the line, she has a get out of jail free card. Why didn't you and Ray Ray work out? Well, his low functioning behavior. Well, you said you need a hybrid of high functioning, low
Hmm.
functioning. Oh, you thought you were going to be able to pick specifically where he was high functioning and
Hmm.
specifically where he was low functioning. That means you're not just praying to manifest the Wakanda she mentioned. She's praying to manifest a guy with a Wakanda that has just the right amount of high functioning in the specific areas she wants him to, and the right amount of low functioning, specifically the areas where she wants him to.
Yeah.
How astronomically difficult is that going to be to find? Is this the person we
Hmm.
want to disseminating, her teachings and knowledge to society, especially the black community is already broken up enough as it is?
It's crazy.
Hmm. Yeah.
We
I
got
think
to do the math.
you
That's a
gave
good
some
point
great math.
because she want the low functioning to cater to her needs, not hold her accountable. But what if his low functioning could probably affect her in other ways? She's not even considering that
What if
part.
he's low
It's like,
functioning ambition? She won't accept that. He can't be low functioning
mm-hmm,
ambition.
yeah,
You know what I'm
mm-hmm,
saying? He's gonna be
yeah,
low functioning and he tolerates my BS.
Yeah.
hmm,
She'd have been better off just
especially,
saying that.
yeah,
Conflict
and
of interest, Your Honor. What do you say, Derek?
She would have been better off just saying that.
yeah.
Yeah.
And like I said, when I found that definition, high function persons,
I think you said
a guy
fountain
that
head.
has found, but yeah, appreciate that, had mental clarity and allows them to be more productive. So if somebody is operating a low function, or being low function, then the high function going to help them be more productive to solve whatever issue they're having. So
Hmm.
it looks like she's not looking for that. But we get back into the video. Unless y'all got anything else?
Good.
No, sir. That
All
was
right.
good. Well, I mean, you have any more questions, or we're going to be on to the next video?
Next video. No more
Yeah.
questions.
So yeah, I wanted to address the want not need part and the interdependence because the way she's defining independence is not even what interdependence means. She says you want somebody that high functioning is having somebody that wants you and not needs you. This has apologetics written all over it. Like she's trying to defend against a point that hasn't been stated yet because she's aware of the social conversation about women nowadays saying we don't need a man, we want a man. So she's saying high functioning is having a woman's view about whether they should want you or need you. So she's saying that. Then she goes. She tried to make it more intellectual by saying it's not about dependence, it's interdependence, which is true. Healthy relationships and business and whatever else is about interdependence. But if you look at the definition of interdependence, it's still meeting each other's needs because it still has the word depend in it. It still has that. Just because it's not independent or dependent, interdependent still has dependent in it. A dependent is depending on something else. That's a need. So even when she tries to make the semantic game, it still falls flat on her face. And I want to say this for the audience that hears this, is that she may be a scholar in her respective field, but this is linguistics, this is theology, this is philosophy. These are disciplines that she's not well versed in, it seems. So don't take our rebuttal or response or critique of what she's saying as us questioning her expertise. This is her venturing into other territories where she is severely outwitted.
Says severely outwitted. All right. Good stuff. Good stuff, y'all.
Are you offering financially? What can you do for me? How can you provide for me? It has nothing to do with emotions. This is why you have a lot of high valued women and men who are extremely low functioning. It is statistically known that high valued women, not functioning, high value women, meaning powerhouse, makes money, elected official, doctor, lawyer, entrepreneur, whatever she does, she's just killing it. She does well. Educated, not educated, she just does her thing financially. She's high valued. Often end up with low functioning men.
Why?
And it's because she has high value. She doesn't have high function. Law of attraction, we attract who we are despite of who we think we are. So the man living in his mama's house that you described, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's based on society. That's a low value man.
Reality, not
That's
society.
fine. You can say reality. I'm fine with that. Yeah.
Right.
Value is not a functioning. High functioning is how you function. Has nothing to do with money or where you live or how you drive.
Right.
Okay. Value is the word value because it's it's what you said. How valuable are you?
Mm-hmm.
How valuable are you, sis? What you bringing to the table?
Okay. Now,
those are two different things.
I just want to stop you right there before I lose my. If the man doesn't have high value,
yes,
he will not spark the interest of no woman. Let's just put it like that. So it runs.
Then answer this
in
question.
conjuncture.
Why are most low value? And low value man just means, I'll go street terms, broke.
Yes.
Okay. They're married. Them Negroes are married.
But you can't
hold
say
on.
that's a subjective thing.
No, that's not.
Say most because that's not true.
Statistically, when it comes to socioeconomics, Google it, have somebody here on your team pull it up. Socioeconomically, women, Google it.
All right. Let's get right into it. All right, first question I'm gonna ask y'all, man. There's a couple questions I want to ask. I want to see what's the order. Is a woman value primarily determined by her ability to earn money? Is a
Oh, yeah.
woman value determined by her ability to earn money? Derek, what's up, man? Talk to me.
Hell to the no, no. Nope, nope, nope. Not unless both legs are broke. Well, I'll go. Go.
I'm gonna jump in this one. I'm gonna say no as well. What's up, Vulcan? Talk to me.
Yeah, I mean, definitely not. I'm not. And again, for the audience out there, it doesn't mean I'm not saying it's zero value, but the
Yeah, that's
value
what I was
is
gonna say. Yeah.
definitely not going to be in the top five. It probably wouldn't even be in the top 10
All right. All right.
for
Derek, explain.
most men,
Okay.
Yeah.
especially if we're talking about globally. Then
Yeah,
it's
I was
not
just
even
about to say
top
globally.
15,
Yeah.
20.
Oh, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. It is. It's crazy that people, these podcasts that are out there that promote this, the high value woman, doesn't even make sense. And the reason it doesn't make sense, and I know I need to probably stress this since people are watching, is the value that the internet says is a high valued woman is nothing more than a man in a dress. And so the things
Wow.
that that are that we like, that men like,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of women think that's what they offer, the same thing, so we should like that. It's like, no, you that's us.
Mm-hmm.
That's us. So you know what's sweet is I saw a video with a woman who makes 1 million a year, and she makes a ton of money, and her man makes a ton of money. She said, "Boy, I cook every day. I do this every day. I do all," and she named all this stuff that she does and how she prepares things for him. And I was saying, wow, now that's high value. The money is a bonus.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. That's why I said it, I would agree with both of y'all. Um, the money is valuable, but well, you said primary. The question I asked was it primary?
yeah.
And not
Yeah.
only that, I mean, obviously money's valuable, but I mean,
Mm,
there's a good case that could be made that the more money a woman has, it works
Against her.
against the man's interest.
mm-hmm.
A lot of studies show that the more degrees a woman has, the higher her IQ is, the more she earns, the higher her divorce rate, and the less happy she is in marriage,
Yep.
and
Okay.
less likely for her to actually get married.
Oh, I didn't even see the comment. Shout out to Fresh. Run your mouth, Fresh. Women should qualify this statement with who they're asking to assess the value. Okay. Okay.
No doubt.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
so,
like what I would say earlier, I would just say no, because if you want to think about a person's identity, especially holistically, values encompass qualities like emotional strength. I say that kindness, just virtues. That type of stuff. Men typically value more than what a woman's income,
yeah,
and those type
beauty,
of
obviously,
yeah. Say, I didn't hear you. Say it again.
beauty.
Yeah, beauty, and those type of things. Money you can't measure. Money can't measure those type of things. So that's what I have on that one.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Anybody?
I think that Well, hold on. Did you have another question lined up for that one?
No, I do got a question. If y'all wanna, I thought y'all had it. If
Is
y'all
it on the
have
same?
anything
Is
else,
it based on the same clip or no? A different
yeah,
clip?
same clip, same clip. The
Okay.
other
Yeah. Yeah.
question I want to. All right, so she said, she she said in the clip that she know a lot of couples where they have women that's high functioning married to guys that's low functioning. So my question is, why are some successful women with low functioning men? Want to go first?
I mean, man, that's a wide open one. I mean, I don't even know how to put that in a statistical category of why would women with money do that. Um, I mean, those are probably definitely individual cases. But Falcon, what you have on that?
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's easy because I mean, obviously, women are going to be women whether they got money or not. Women are drawn to low functioning qualities in men, and then they're also drawn to. And I want to say this also too. A man can be high value and low functioning in her words. He's still a high value guy. When women weight different qualities of a man differently. So a guy can maybe be, a serial cheater, or he could be really bad with finances. But if he's a doctor, that still ranks high on the list for attractiveness overall. A guy could be very assertive, very aggressive, or whatever you want to call it, very commanding, which is erotic for her. But he can also be overbearing and lash out, and those two things can exist in the same person. And so she's drawn to it, so she's with the guy, but at the same time, he's low function in those areas. So to me, it just makes perfect sense. You can't quantify these things because we're going off her anecdotal situations, but I know it exists. Obviously, women and men are getting with low functioning people all the time because a lot of our population is low functioning in those different kind of ways.
Yep.
So that's what I would say for that one. It just makes sense because there's only so many guys, especially when we're talking about successful. I would imagine women who would go to see her were probably very successful women. There's only so many men that would earn what they earn or exceed what they earn. So you got to deal with the pot you're dealing with. A woman likes a man who's 6'3", but he's low functioning in some areas. You think she's not going to take it? She's still going to take it. You got a guy who's a famous celebrity. Think about all the celebrity scandals we have going on. These women get with these celebrities anyway, even though he's quote unquote low functioning in some areas, because she's still attracted to a guy who's got fame and fortune.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? So to me, it just makes sense that would be the case because the high functioning is not as high on their priority as height, income, influence, and things of that nature. Perceived affluence, which I already kind of covered that. Go ahead, yeah. So I'll go ahead.
That's good. You want to add to that, Derek?
No, I'm good.
Okay, so you agree. I'm gonna ask another question. All right, since we're talking
Hold on, we
about
got a comment
attract.
real quick. Let me read the question. We got a comment right here.
Hold on, let me get the comments. Run your mouth fresh. It allows women to remain who they had to become to gain the level of financial success. Also, Falcon is crazy. I thought he was saying it with a V. But yeah, so shout out to Fresh, man. All right, so yeah, we're talking about people attracted to low function, high functioning. Next question I got for y'all:
Okay.
do we attract who we despite who we think we are?
Say that one more time,
Do
please.
we attract who we despite who we think we are?
Yeah, there's a missing word in there somewhere.
Yeah.
You know what? You know it's crazy. I don't even have the PowerPoint. I was supposed to have the PowerPoint. I didn't bring the PowerPoint. These are the notes I wrote down. Yeah. So do we attract? Yeah. Let me just pull that up. But
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Y'all
Well,
can
I mean,
probably
I think this is
answer
addressing the
that to
law
the
of
best ability.
attraction part that she's referred to. So she said the law of attraction. She goes into the law of attraction, which we've covered numerous times on the show. But her thing is saying we attract who we are, not who we think we are. So anybody want to
Okay.
cover that real quick, or you want me to dive
Yeah.
into it?
I mean, yeah, that when she said that, I thought, first of all, you started it with that law of attractions mess. So
Yeah.
our ears were already kind of closed. But I don't agree with that for this one reason. You can be whoever you want to be in San Antonio, Texas, in Dallas, Texas, in Austin, in California, and wherever you are, and there is somebody right for you in 5,000 miles away. Your Let me get my fingers ready. Energy ain't pulling that person 5,000 miles away to put them in front of you. So you deal with who you deal with. So when you meet somebody, because I'll tell you right now, in relationship, I know a whole lot of people that it had nothing to do with what you're attracting. I think the world kind of likes to say, well, that's in you. So that's why you got a man like that. And you know
Okay.
what? In a lot of cases, it can be, but in a lot of cases, it's not.
Well, and this is the thing right here, and I'm a stickler for words here, right? So
Okay.
if she would have said we entertain who we are, not who we think we are, that makes sense to me.
Okay.
But to say we attract, that's completely one. There's no way to quantify that. If I'm sitting at a bar and somebody approaches me, you're saying that I attracted that person. I'm not saying there isn't any connection. If I'm in, Timbuktu and I got a Dallas Cowboy, jacket on, and somebody comes up to me and says, "Hey, I'm a Dolphins fan, get up." You can say in some way I attracted that. Or if another Cowboy fan, there is something to it. But this resolute thing of we attract who we are, not who we, especially when we're talking about romance and stuff like that. A lot of we're gonna attract all kind of different things. Especially those of us who are very attractive. Not saying that I'm one of those people. People who are very attractive. People on different degrees of attractiveness. You can have people that are very, very ugly that are amazing people. They don't attract anybody. There's plenty of videos online talking about pretty privilege and women who are very dark skinned and don't have the nicest body in the world. That talk about they can put the nicest dress on. You can see they're very nice people and they're invisible to the world. So a lot of this emphasis on we attract who we are, not what we are, not who we think we are. A lot of that is there's nothing to back that up at all.
Yeah.
We do entertain because me choosing to entertain somebody or create a relationship with somebody is a decision that I'm making. But me attracting that person and me coming closer together, whether coming together physically or whatever way you want to say it, that stuff is random in a lot of ways. Not in all ways. Again, I gave the example.
Yeah.
But it's a random in a lot of ways. If you're an attractive person, especially physically attractive person, you're gonna attract all kind of people, from low function to high function, to low value to high value. If you're aesthetically unappealing, aka ugly, you could be the best person in the world. You're not gonna attract people like that. That's just the reality of it.
Yep.
And so her making this thing real mystified and saying you attract who you are, not who you think you are, that's unfortunately a lot of us, but especially with the ladies, getting into superstition, the law of attraction, superstition. And that's why I think it's important for the audience to recognize when you hear ladies like this or guys like this who are pushing the law of attraction belief systems, ask them to prove what they're saying. Not with an anecdotal experience of something happening one time somewhere. Prove it by statistics. Let them show you that it's reproducible. We'll go in one bar. Take the ugliest person in the world, who's the most amazing person in the world, and show me how they can attract who they want to attract. Let's take a guy making $40,000 a year who's 4'6". And I want to see you make him attract whatever he truly is. Let's say he's the most amazing guy in the world. We give you a shirt off his back. Let's see you take him around the world and show him attracting all kind of people who are like him. That's scalable. That's people who are in the military, people in education, people in business. You understand that models that have predictive capabilities are more useful than models that don't have predictive capabilities. Things need to be scalable. How is that model scalable? We have a comment here. You want to read that email? You want me to read it?
You go ahead and read it.
Yeah, so Dr. A. Williams says, I think that I can attract a person from across the world based on the law of attraction. Just hating on my good sis, Dr. Bryant. So yeah, again, attract. I mean, obviously there's ways to attract people like that. I mean, there's ways to attract. If I put a big pot of gold by my house and then leave breadcrumbs how to get there, I can attract somebody, if I have enough bread to get all the way 5,000 miles, I could attract it. I'm not saying there's no way to attract certain things. I can say I'm giving out free Rolexes. I'm going to attract people that like Rolexes. But that's not what law of attraction is saying. Law of attraction is some kind of mystical energy. Yeah. That based off of your thoughts and beliefs, somehow outside the laws of physics, because it's definitely not what we learned in science class growing up. Outside the laws of physics, able to get somebody to come closer to you, to attract somebody, to bring somebody closer to you, just based off of a shared identity. Yeah. In some way.
You know what's interesting with that law of attraction? When you were talking, I was thinking about the beautiful woman, the woman that the world thinks is beautiful. We could probably argue, not on an absolute level, but we could probably argue that there are some laws there that we can see. We can put a woman that the world thinks is a 15, and we could almost write down what we think would happen because of how the Western world is. I mean, we couldn't call it a law, but we'd be god dog close.
Mm.
You take one of these girls out of the gym with yoga pants on and send her through a neighborhood. Before she steps foot out of that van, we could sit there and write down what I bet you this happens, that happens, this happens, that happens, and we might be right 80 and 90% of the time. And then the same thing with the 4'6" guy. Him walking out with his little pinroll glasses on, and we could probably
Hmm.
tell you exactly who notices him walking down the street for a mile. No
Absolutely,
one.
no
Yeah,
one. And
yeah,
it's because he doesn't believe in himself enough. He didn't manifest
yeah,
certain
yeah.
things enough. Let's be real. And this is what we get into. I'm not going to get into it too much, y'all. But again, this show is meant to be intellectual and critical thinking. Learn about explanatory power. Learn about explanatory scope. What this stuff teaches you is whenever you're trying to figure out what best explains something, you want to know what explains the most aspects of that particular thing. So you might have an explanation. I'll give a short joke of a story that I heard that kind of explains it. I might have even said it before on the show where you got some guys, they're scientists, and they're studying this frog. And so they say, jump frog. The frog jumps. So they chop one of the legs off of the frog. They said, jump frog. The frog jumps. They cut another leg off the frog. They said, jump frog. The frog jumps. All the way to the frog's down to the last leg. They cut off the last leg of the frog. And they said, jump frog. And the frog won't jump. And they go, wow, I think the frog's lost his ability to hear.
So,
So the frog not being able to hear does explain to some extent why the frog's not jumping. It doesn't show any correlation between the legs being cut off, and that's why we would laugh at it. So explanatory power and explanatory scope, when you're looking at what's the best explanation of something, you're looking for an explanation that's going to explain every aspect of it or the most of it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So we may have
mm.
one explanation A and explanation B. Explanation A only explains two aspects of it. Explanation B explains four aspects of it. So we're gonna have to say, if we're gonna be reasonable people, that at least for right now, the best explanation is explanation B because it explains the most of what we see.
Yeah.
We may come down long down the line, a year from now, and have an explanation C that explains six aspects of what happened. And then we're gonna have to say, at this point in time, that's the best explanation. So explanatory scope and explanatory power. Those are very important to learn whenever you're trying to understand what is the best way to explain things. How do I know when somebody's reason or explanation for something is the best or the most potent or the most robust? It's based off of these terms right here. This is how we learn how to think better, think more critically.
Man, I like that.
Yeah, okay. Another thing too. No, I just wait on that. But
This happens in relationships all the time. You do that because of this. Well, that explains one aspect, but don't explain then why did I do this, this, and this if it was because of that. We do this all the time, and we don't realize this is a science you can look up.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying she's gonna listen to you if you try to explain it to her, but we do this. We use this all the time. Well, you didn't listen to me because you didn't want to hear what I had to say, or was it because I was on the phone? Maybe.
Watching the
And I
game.
knew watching the game, I knew I could talk to you about this after the fact. So which one better explains what you saw happening? What you observed, which one better explains everything you saw happening? Explanatory scope, explanatory power.
that's good. That's good. And I just want to give my 2 cents as far as people saying you attract who you are. That's not a healthy way of looking at things because you're not considering a lot of factors that go into why somebody's attracted to you. Of course, we mentioned physical appearance, maybe your background, culture, certain interests you might have, and you're not
Proximity.
considering all.
You
Mm-hmm.
holler at the girl. You holler at the girl that's 5 feet from you instead of the girl who's 15 feet from you because you
Mm-hmm.
don't feel like walking that far. or you don't lose,
Yeah.
or you don't want to lose your spot.
Yeah.
It's a packed lounge.
Mm-hmm.
This girl right here sitting next to me, I don't got to get up and lose my spot. The other girl that I want to talk to, if I walk over there, I might not get my spot back.
Mm.
There's all kind of reasons why we attract what we
Yep.
attract.
Yep.
It's really about why do we entertain what we entertain.
Yeah. That's a better way of saying it. All right, post hoc fallacy. You know what? I was waiting on. Oh man, y'all wait a minute. Hold on, y'all go ahead and continue. Hold on for a minute.
So we have another comment right here. It says, have the dynamics between men and women changed due to some women being high functioning and men being low functioning, such as men staying at home now? Derek, you want to cover that? You want me to hit that?
Let me read it again. Have the dynamics between men and women changed due to some women being high functioning and men being low functioning, such as men staying home? I mean, on those case by case basis, because one of the arguments is when people get together, you're supposed to become one, right? And so if people come into a relationship and they both bring in 100%, when somebody's at 30, that other partner should bring in that other 70. When the other one's at 50, that other person should bring. I think the dynamic only changes because that's what that couple chose to do. A man staying at home while his wife is working, that is a decision that couple made, but I don't think that's going to give any bearing on the dynamics of a high valued woman or a low valued man. I think that pool is so small that it would be hard to get a consensus of, well, that dynamic is changing. I think that number is really small.
Okay.
I'll
Yeah,
stay
I'm
home
trying
and
to
walk
look.
the dog. That's a lie.
Such as men starting. Okay. You want to address this Vulcan?
Yeah, so I say have the dynamics between men and women changed due to some women being high functioning and men being low functioning, such as men staying at home now. Now the thing is, it's not clear that's low functioning. That there's a man staying home nowadays. Is he retired? Is that the arrangement that they have? I don't know if we're
Is he
talking about Dr.
exercising?
Yeah, I don't know if we're talking about Dr. Bryant's definition of low function. I don't think she was saying low function. That's the low value. So the man being at home may be considered low value, but I don't know if it'd be considered low functioning.
Mhm.
So I don't know if this question really is accounting for what Dr. Bryant's definitions are communicating. But there definitely been some changes in the fact that now that women earn more money, there are men now who opt to stay at home, just like men have done since the beginning of time. So it's just a role reversal there. So I don't see as how the dynamics between men and women change due to some. Yeah, the dynamics have changed. Some men can be low functioning, but they're really good in the bedroom. And she works really hard. She makes really good money, and she just wants a de-stressor. And he's a good case for that.
Boy, that is so freaking true.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was.
I think it's been proven that semen is an antidepressant for women.
Wow.
So
Dr. Payne in the house.
yeah, there we go. So she found her guy that's giving her what she wants. In some ways, it's an antidepressant.
You heard that, ladies? Go ahead, find your man, get married. You have to take the prescription.
So we
anymore.
all doctors up in here.
You don't need to go to Dr.
All right,
Bryant. We can help you with your depression.
Those two above my face can help you.
yeah. I just wanted to play this clip. This I thought Fresh was gonna be on here because we on the topic as far as people saying they could track who they are. I was gonna play this for a Fresh one of Fresh favorite TV shows.
Oh, it's hilarious.
Fresh, say something in the comments if you're there.
Work. That logic is post hoc ergo propter hoc. No, I'm not.
So I was just having some fun with it. having some fun. So yeah, so when people are saying that when they I
Well, are
guess
you
how
gonna
you can
say
say what.
why you played that video?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's what I was doing. When people suggest that, uh, what's the way I could say this? Like a certain way, especially when the relationship ends, when people say that they suggest that the way they found the way that. Hold on, let me. Oh, no, I wrote that down. Y'all go ahead. Let me look at my notes and
So real quickly, where are
figure
we
out. I'm
at
gonna
now on
explain
the
that.
questions? There's another question, or is there another
Yeah, it's
clip? Okay,
another.
the clip part of another question.
Yeah, it's one more question. I just want to make sure I bring this fallacy out. I ain't got my notes, so I'm just go
Are
off
you
the
able to
head.
share what the question is while you're pulling that up, or no?
Yeah, I can. All right, assuming that the event must after I'm gonna share the question after I go over this, and then we can
Okay.
move on with the show. All right, assuming that the one event must have been the cause later, must be the cause of a later event because it happened earlier. So that's what this is why I said this is related to what we are talking about as far as people saying you can only attract who you are. Let me take that off the screen. So that when you assume that two events occur because of one event, that's basically what I'm trying to say. When you assume the way an event happened, how it's concluded because of this event, that's a what they call a postdoc fallacy. That was it. Yeah. All
Okay.
right. So I'm
Yeah,
asked.
that's true. A lot of people do have that challenge where they think just because A happened prior to B, that A
Hmm.
caused B,
Hmm.
and the two may not be related. And so that's an excellent point. So on that one, everybody needs to understand that.
Yep.
Yeah, that's my
Just
fault. I
because
wrote
you
some.
pray, just because you prayed for the Wakanda and prayed for the six figure, blah 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 blah, then the guy comes up to you and he fits that. Doesn't mean that you created that guy. Men are gonna come up to you if you're a somewhat attractive woman, and
Hmm.
then because what happens is women be like, yeah, I prayed for this and I got this guy in my life. He's great. A year later, they're not together anymore. She speaks really lowly of the guy. Well, what happened to that
Yeah.
law of attraction thing? Does it still apply or not? Does the law of attraction care if it lasts? Or just
Mm.
wants you to attract it. It's up to you after that point. So yeah, for
Mm.
sure. Just because something happens, an effect happens doesn't mean Sorry, yeah, yeah. The effect happened doesn't mean that whatever you think was the cause was the actual cause of it.
Yep.
For sure. I just want to make sure
Yeah.
the
Actually,
audience
no.
can tie all that together. Excellent point, he knows.
Yeah, I mixed my notes up, but the claiming that because the event Y followed the event X, event Y must have been caused by event X without properly establishing causality.
Causality. Mhm.
Yes.
Yep.
Causality.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's all. Yeah, I had my notes mixed up. But we can get
Don't
to the next
minimize it.
question.
It's not that's all. That's a big point. You don't gotta say that. That's a big point.
For sure, for
Yep.
sure, for sure. All right, so
Hey,
let's.
Falcon, I have a quick analogy, not a quick story for that right there.
All
So
right.
you've got a guy who has been accused of being unfaithful. Let's say that he wasn't, but he was accused of it.
Mhm.
And then all of a sudden, he's at a store. His girl is in the car. She gets out of the car. She comes in. She meets him at the door of the store, and some lady is kissing him. And this example of what is it, post hoc fallacy, she would
Hmm.
automatically conclude that because we just dealt with this is what you doing. And it's
Yep.
like it's like baby, hold on. Her son almost got hit by a car, and I grabbed him, and she just came up to me with emotion.
Yeah.
Oh,
There we go. Yeah, that's exactly it.
yeah.
I finally caught him.
Post hoc fallacy. Ooh, if you know me, I'm gonna be wearing it out. That's a post hoc fallacy. No, no, no. That's a post hoc fallacy.
All right, all right. So let's get to the next. Matter of fact, we're gonna go to the. I think we're done with that segment. We can go ahead and go to the next part of the video. Let me go ahead and. So yeah, I guess y'all have anything else to say on that topic, do
No,
y'all?
nothing else. You said it was another question, or was it just the next video?
Next video.
Okay,
Next
got you.
video. Yeah, next video. Is it the next? Yeah, next video. All right, so we gotta get right into it. All right, here we go. All right, here we go.
Are you open
All right, here we go.
in regards to manifestation? Listen, God, just bring him to me. I mean, good hair, nappy hair. I mean, European hair, Wakanda hair. It don't matter. I need my hubby.
Dominican hair. Yes, I am very obedient to God's will first. And God has a permission to override any silly decisions I make, okay, to bring me his will. However, and I'm open to dating outside my race.
Right.
If I can have it my way, right? And it's something that I'm choosing from. I love my Black men. And so I wouldn't be choosing outside of my race. How can I say it? Because Black men weren't my priority. It would be, again, an organic, it happened. This man happens to be long-term meeting wants. And this is just what, in my spirit, God says, this is what I have for you. And him too he'd be the king. He would be daddy. He'd be all that, regardless if he came Wakanda hair and long as he have a Wakanda. Okay, anyways, but what I was saying was, I'm back. We talking about my husband. I had to manifest him the right way.
Yeah, you did.
The right way, ladies.
Yeah, you did.
Doc is back. But I would definitely date outside my race. Yes.
So, does race matter in regards to finding love?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
So,
not love.
Wakanda only come in Wakanda packages.
Have you been to Africa?
Idiot.
I'm from Africa.
Have you traveled to Africa?
I'm in Atlanta, baby. This is Africa.
So have you traveled to Africa?
Not the country.
Not the continent.
No.
Okay, so.
Or the continent, I apologize.
Yeah, no problem. So you were saying, it may be challenging for a single woman to counsel married people. Well, I've traveled to Africa. So maybe hard for a man who has not traveled to Africa to say that in Africa, you only see one kind of.
Watch where you're going now.
Race of men, okay?
You're stepping in some quicksand if we want to go down that road.
Whatever you want to do. I'm just saying that love has no color, but also when you're talking about what kind of size, I don't believe that only one race of a species has a certain what kind of size. Now, I don't want to go deep into talking about penises for 15 minutes because I don't think that's what will help. Remember, my purpose is I want to do my job and I want to give the audience things that can change lives and I want to entertain. But I don't think a big penis has to do with one race of men. But if you want to go there real quick and touch it, go for it.
No.
Have you dated a white guy?
Never.
Okay. So you don't know.
I've never dated a guy.
You would not know.
I've never dated a guy.
Right. Okay. So for a woman who has dated.
Let's just put that out there.
Dated. I've never been intimate with a man outside of Black, but dating a white guy, I can say that.
Hilarious. All right. So first question I'm gonna ask. Oh, hold on, let me get the comments. I gotta read the comments. What was that? Nicola John said, "Hola." Okay, what's up? What's up, Nicole? Oh, what's up, Nicole? Join. We can send a stream to you for you to join. All right. So, first question, man. Should race matter when it comes to love? Should race matter when it comes to love? What's up, Darren?
I'm burning up, fellas. Change.
No, it doesn't matter.
Okay. I say no. What's up, Vulcan?
I mean, it depends what we mean by what we're saying. I mean, obviously, I think I would agree with y'all that it should not matter when it comes to love, but we know that it definitely does matter. I think the studies suggest that 80% is as low as it gets for all races. 80% of the time, at least, people of different races, not that there's different races, as Derek's eloquently pointed out in the past, we're all just the human race, but we typically tend to stay within our race. And then for most races, maybe not African Americans, but maybe that might still be the case. I'm not exactly sure. The higher income you get for the men, they tend to become more race loyal.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So the more money they make, okay.
They tend to become more race loyal.
I didn't know that. I thought it was the opposite, maybe.
You ain't lying. You put 2 or 3 or 20 in my pocket. You ain't gonna see it.
You gonna be in Brazil? You gonna be in Brazil? You gonna be in Cuba?
I won't. I
Colombia?
won't be in the U.S.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, well, that's why I say as far as love, that we define love, it shouldn't matter. But if you marriage is something different, marriage could be. It depends how you look at marriage. It could be a political reason, business
I,
reason. Go
I
ahead.
definitely encourage African American women specifically to date outside their quote unquote race, just because it's just better for them. Because African American men are going to definitely do it, so you need to do it too. The only difficulty with that is that it's harder for them to do it because, as we discussed in the past, African American women tend to weigh more than the average man does.
Mm-hmm.
And just percentage wise, not most men don't find that attractive. Men do find it attractive, but just normally not.
Mm-hmm.
And that being the case, if you're weighing close to 187 pounds, an average man weighs 170, 175, whatever the number is, you outweigh him. And women like men who are bigger than them, men like women who are smaller than them. That's statistically how it works itself out. So, so that's one factor. And then in the African American community, we tend to be very matriarchal, but most other cultures are very patriarchal. So it doesn't
Mm-hmm.
work. So the strong black independence of an African American woman doesn't really fit culturally with Asian, Indian, Hispanic cultures that way.
Mm-hmm.
So they're less
Yes.
tolerant of the the lack of agreeableness.
You haven't seen any good example that a matriarchal culture has really thrived. I haven't seen in the last, I don't know, couple thousand years. So, and the way the black community, the direction we're going is turning into a matriarchal culture, especially because black women are making a lot more money than they did in the past. They're becoming um, our influences of the culture as far as in the political arena. So, a lot even in the religious circuit, you see that a lot of that going on, especially within Christianity, the black churches. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, I think that's and then just to touch on what Vulcan was saying earlier, I that's a good point that you made, that you actually encourage black women to maybe consider dating outside of the race, going to the studies. Black women would, out of their lifetime, 40% get married. 40% of black women actually get married in their lifetime. So that's more than half. So you have to,
You said that's less than me, less than.
yeah, less than half, but it's more than half of black women not getting married. I'm sorry, that's what I meant to say. So, to widen
And
your
the numbers that
pool
I've
of,
seen are closer to 26% than 40%.
oh wow, that's
The
even,
numbers
yeah,
that I've
that's
seen,
why.
like 1 in 4 black women marries in her lifetime. And of course, it changes as the age changes, but and also African American women tend to get married later in life
Mm.
than the other counterparts. Which I'm
Yes,
not
I got
judging and saying it's right or wrong, but it is what it is.
you. Okay.
Whatever that means.
Yeah. So if you want to, have a better chance of getting married, black women, that's according to the stats. We're just going by the numbers. It would make sense. It would be more reasonable for you to consider dating outside your race.
Get on.
All right.
Especially because
What's that
African
there?
American men need to step it up in a lot of ways. Up your
Yeah. Yeah.
chances.
Sure. Sure. All right, y'all. Let's. Think we covered that pretty well. Let's get to the next clip.
There's a difference in cultural experiences,
Yeah.
but I don't think I haven't
That's right. Okay, here we go.
seen, but I haven't been intimate with a white man. But I mean, I haven't seen things. I don't think there's a big difference to me in white or black when it comes to your penis.
This is my point that I was saying, and we're kind of taking a
that's what I
step
said.
back
Yeah.
to Euro step to try to score.
Right.
Now, I'm having a hard time to believe a very educated, a very attractive woman out of 41 years have not met Mr. Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's enough time to find a lot of things out.
I bet.
And yet,
Mm-hmm.
no kids,
Mm-hmm.
single.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not, but I am saying,
Mm-hmm.
are women's expectations unrealistic?
No,
Hell
I'm gonna
to
say, like I
the
said on
yeah.
Nick, the question shouldn't be why isn't a woman of age, of success, of a certain caliber not married with kids? The question should be why are people rushing to the altar just to become divorcees or baby mamas and baby daddies?
Mhm.
I think if anything, we need to be teaching our society, take your time, young man or young woman, so that you can get to know not just this person, but yourself first, so that you can choose a life partner, not that that person isn't exempt to divorce, instead of rushing to the altar just to become a divorcee or a baby mama and have multiple kids by multiple women just to say you have broken.
Whoa. Wow. Lot was
Mm-hmm.
said. Lot was said. I'm gonna go ahead and bring Cola J in.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome back. What's up, Cola?
What up, Cola?
It's
How's the
cold.
blanket? Cola,
Yes.
Say
cold.
hi. You cold over there, man.
Mm-hmm.
I heard somebody say cold is a light skinned woman's soul.
I heard that too.
Somebody told me
Hey,
that one time.
you might read in the comments, Vulcan. Hold on, I'm about to go on.
So I see here Nicole Jones. Nicole John says black women and white men have the highest success rate. And Run Your Mouth Fresh said not enough to actually move the needle. It's highly anomalous.
She's
And then
very
Dr. A. Williams
select.
says she is very selective.
Stop it.
All right, all right. Let's get to the questions. Is she right about taking your time to
Well, hold
find
on.
somebody?
We probably should address the comments first, and we already read them, and then we
Yes,
can get into the
sir. Let me.
questions right here. So yeah.
Was the first one okay?
So anybody want to tackle? Says black women and white men have the highest success rate. Anybody want to tackle that?
Oh, I did see that. I just go ahead and say that I did see that. What as far as success rate, I think I seen that their marriage lasts longer than other interracial couples. So yeah, that's my 2 cents on that. I did see
Yeah.
that.
So let's say as far as interracial couples go, because you don't see a lot of Indian men with black women, you don't see a lot of Asian men with black women. So again, this is a very small sample size,
Hmm.
and even majority, of the time, white men tend to marry white women, and they marry Asian women at a higher rate, percentage wise. So is it comparing? Is it saying that black women and white men last longer in marriage than white men and Asian women? Is that what it's saying, or is it just saying?
For black women in general, if a black woman does get married, black women who are married have the highest success rate with white men.
Yeah. So I want everybody to hear that so they can keep it in the right context. It's not saying that when a white man marries an Asian woman, it's lower chance of success than a white man than a black woman. It's saying a black woman's best chances with a white guy.
Right.
Because but that's a small sample size because other races, because according to the studies, and this is kind of, I'm not saying that I think it's right or it's wrong, black women are considered the least attractive of all the women. Out of Asian women, Hispanic women, white women, Middle Eastern women, universally, black women are considered to be the least desired. Let me say it that way, least desired.
Right.
Matter, you go to strip clubs, you go to Hooters, you go to Twin Peaks. Sometimes they have official or unofficial quotas on how many black women can even work there, and a lot of
They
times,
Wow.
and a lot of times, the black women you see are very light complected, very ambiguous racially.
Mostly, yes.
Racial and
I've worked at
ambiguous.
a lot of clubs. That's very the case.
So y'all know I ain't out here hating on anybody or anything like that. I'm just saying what
Hater.
it is.
He's a hater.
We got more comments, y'all. We got more comments. She is very selective from Dr. A. Williams. Run your mouth fresh says misogynist. I gotta get that ad lib, man. I gotta get that ad lib. He also said, "Run your mouth fresh says I'm in the Uber, but I'm watching." Shout out to Fresh.
We got Mr.
Third member.
Businessman out here taking over the world. We call him Brain. So yeah, I'm Pinky. So I'm just asking what we gonna do next to take over the world, man. Let me know. I'm game.
For sure, for sure. Do y'all want to address that, Derek? I know Cola
Address
said a few
what?
things. Black women and white men having the highest success rate
Well,
as
I have
far as
one comment.
marriage. All right.
Stop complaining about us. You got options now.
All right. I think that's everything. And Fresh addressed some of the comments as well. So I think we did a good job with that. So the question I have for the panel.
Dr. A says that she is very selective. I definitely would agree with that. She's more selective than she's
Hold on.
giving off too.
Oh, well, there's a reason
Oh
for that. I'm a,
yes,
She's
I'm a,
very,
I'm gonna,
yes,
I'm gonna tear that one
yes.
up. So
yeah.
yeah,
You want to wait? You want to wait?
I
With the
can wait.
Wakanda. No.
That Wakanda. We're gonna address the Wakanda. Is that one of the questions? He knows. Because I want to
I
address
hope.
what they were saying in the Wakanda part. Anybody want Derek? You want to tackle
No,
that? Or?
no. Let's just
Hell
address
no,
that
I don't want
now.
to.
No, no, we're gonna stay away from that. We're gonna stay away from that.
We getting the quiet BDE and loud BDE, Cola. We getting this.
Look. That's so funny. That was a great conversation that day, right?
So
Yeah.
let's go ahead and address it, man. Go ahead, get it out. Let's so we can move on to the next topic.
All
So
you had to have done in your life is watched something on the internet, and that whole argument just shuts down. There's nothing
yeah.
else to talk about. This
Yeah.
is
So
the
Cola, you want to address anything else about that as well? I have my points, but I'm waiting. I'm
Look,
waiting, being
I
patient.
was gonna say, from my experience, even if it's the same size, I just would. I'm good. I'm good. The motion don't motion like it's supposed to motion.
Yeah. So yeah, I can't speak from experience, but one thing I can say, because I've seen the studies on this kind of stuff, and then
All
there's
right, Cam Newton. Cam Newton was like, no,
yeah,
I never.
I never. But the thing is, right here, it's not, and that's why I disagree with Cam. And of course, they're being funny, and they're entertainers. They got to make get views. So I'm not going to knock them for not being technically correct in what they're saying. But a lot of stuff is in percentages. It's not about one race doesn't have it, another race has it. It probably is true. Again, not that I believe in race. We all come from the same people, but the reality is this: certain ethnic groups may have a higher percentage of Wakanda than others. So I'm gonna make these numbers up just so everybody can understand that the flatness of the distribution could vary, which just means that let's say that 30% of African American men have Wakandas, maybe 20% of European men have Wakandas, maybe 10% of Asian men have Wakandas. All of them are gonna have Wakandas as a group. But maybe the percentage could change because we are genetically different. Our phenotypes are different at certain points. So, just making an absolute statement that they don't have this or they don't have that is untrue because, especially in America, there might be more hypothetical. There could be more white men with Wakandas than black men because there's a lot more white men than black men in America. So percentage-wise, maybe black men have more Wakandas. And I won't get too graphic because we're on Facebook, but being from San Antonio, Texas, where I'm from, which is largely Hispanic population, and having had discussions with numerous Hispanic women about this topic, I know what the word on the street is about the topic. And a lot of it boils down to percentage. There's men who are not well endowed in one group, and there's men who are well endowed in other groups. It may be a percentage thing. But at the end of the day, it's unfair and untrue to say that one group doesn't have Wakandas. And then a bigger point than that is that part of the issue is that we have so much of an emphasis on the Wakanda in the first place. There are studies that suggest that once a woman has more than 5 partners, her chances of being happy in a relationship go down to like 20%.
I mean, and that's just with 5.
Yes, women shouldn't even really know what a Wakanda is or what a Wakanda isn't. Because the studies show they're not happy once they've experienced all that variety. It's hard for them to still be happy and content in a relationship once they've experienced all of that. You don't know what you don't know.
Oh boy,
And then,
you don't miss what you don't know.
I can't believe Vulcan's getting ready to say this, but sometimes ignorance really is bliss.
Yeah. Yep. Boy, I had that conversation with my daughter. I broke it down, hopefully made it clear.
A black man having a conversation with his daughter. I love to see that. I love to hear that.
Yeah, that was, man.
And I'm sure I know your breakdowns are epic. So I mean, I wish I could have been there for
that. Yeah, for sure. So Anybody want to touch on that?
No,
Agree or
we can go
disagree,
to.
or
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
next,
Yeah.
before we get to the next
Wait.
video? Oh, we already watched the video. Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
go ahead, Derek. Yeah,
No, that's
we
what I was
already
gonna
watched it.
say. I thought you was going to move on. I'm like, nah, we need to get her in her last comments.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah. All right, so we already watched the video, Cola J, but you'll be able to keep up as far as the question. Is she right about taking your time to find someone? Is she right?
Hell no.
Absolutely. She is.
Hell no.
You
Oh
should
no.
take your time.
Hell no.
Okay.
That ain't the reason though. That's the reason after it's taken you 41 years. That's not the reason in you teaching an 18-year-old
Well, hold on.
girl.
Well, let Cola explain why. Let
I'm
get
sorry,
an
I didn't mean to cut you
explanation.
off, Cola. I'm sorry.
Well,
That's
she
fine.
has said that young men, she didn't really address, as far as men are concerned, that's what she said. She addressed the men first and said, young man, take your time. So, but
Mm.
I mean, honestly, I think honestly, life is easier if you take your time to court without having sex. Once you've had sex, look, it's best just to look. If you take your time in choosing the right one, then you shouldn't have any issues because look, after being with somebody for so long and then coming back into this shit pool, like, you be looking like, what the hell? Like I was in a mental mind fuck. Like, oh no, what happened in these last
Facebook.
decade? Like, I don't know what's going on.
Facebook.
We're on Facebook, Cola.
Oh, I forgot.
What's up, Derek? Talk to me.
All right. So the what she said was because remember Cam, sorry about that. Cam asked her directly about her. Why has it taken you so long? And
Yes, sir.
she gave a bunch of deflections. So I'm gonna tell you, just since on this show we like to talk in statistics. The statistics are when a woman is of a certain economical status, when she makes too much god dog money, she is not going to date someone statistically that makes less than her. So the guy that makes more than $500,000 to $1 million, it's like 1% or less.
And he don't want her.
So 1,000,000% he don't want her.
Right.
Now the thing she has going for her, if I had to give her a plus in the category, is that she's 41 with no kids. That could be promising in her favor. But the reason she's single, we kind of watched over the last 2 weeks a whole bunch of the last 45 minutes of why she's single. But I think the bigger thing is what pool is she gonna pull from? That's why she's going on dates with white men. She's getting out of the box. These guys are probably successful, probably doing whatever, and they like,
And mind you, she hasn't slept with any of them. She hasn't slept with any of them.
yeah. Because now she knows. I'm not just gonna give it away.
So it's not going that far. She might be going out with them, but it's not getting that far.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
will tell her like I tell some women on my TikTok.
You
Get a
give me a
cat.
napkin?
So Cola,
Get
so
what?
you
Get a cat.
Cola, you do you?
Oh wait. Before you move on,
All right, go ahead.
Dr. Williams. That's why she's selective. That's what we're calling it. Oh, I'm just taking my time. I'm just trying to find, what I'm looking for. Somebody that's high functioning and low functioning. That. Mm-mm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hold
So
on, Volker. I want to get Cola. Do you agree or disagree with Derek is saying?
I agree. I agree. Look,
Just got converted on the show. Okay. Shout out to Derek. Derek changed your mind?
I agree with the points that he's making because what I had logged out to log in here, so I missed when he asked her in the point. So I caught the last. I just caught the part of her talking the
About
other
the
part.
guy.
So I agree with that part, but I didn't hear the part he said. If look,
I
you
see
ain't
you,
single
Doc.
for 41 years because you taking your time. There ain't all that time in the world. You gonna waste your whole life? Mm-mm.
Focused on
Shout out
her
to Dr.
career.
A. Williams. Dr. A. Williams says she's focused on her career. That's what took so long. Okay. Who want to address that? Let's go with Cola. There.
So I feel like you focus on your career when you can't get what you want. And I feel like women, some women, not all, but some women focus on their career and make themselves the man that they want.
Ooh,
Tread lightly. Tread
I
lightly.
love it. I love it.
All right,
Oh,
Derek, Vote can agree or disagree, or whatever, or just address Dr. A comments and Cola J comments.
you got to make that a clip. That's got to be a clip. Ooh,
Yeah.
truer words have not been spoken.
Hmm. What's your thoughts on what Dr. A. Williams said in the comments or what Cola J just said?
Well, I mean, I would definitely agree with what she's saying that it is the case that a lot of women put things on hold for their career. The difficulty with that is that, and I'm not knocking women for doing that. If you want to do that, go ahead and do that. And everything in life, there are trade offs. We all know this instinctively. If I want to be a gamer, sit in my place, eat Cheetos all day, and just play games, I'm gonna gain things. That's why I'm doing it because I'm getting something out of it, whether it's enjoyment, whatever it is. It's gonna cost me certain. If I'm a gamer eating Cheetos all day, getting big, getting unattractive, and I'm also not making any real money because I'm focused on the gaming, it's gonna cost me certain things. The
Yep.
thing with the ladies is when you decide to go career over coupling or finding your partner at a younger age, it costs you things because, as Derek pointed out, the more successful she gets, because women are hypergamous, audience, the word is hypergamous, hypergamy. It just means women want to date up. Women don't date down. They don't prefer to date down, and they definitely don't want to date on this. Sorry, they don't. They definitely don't want to date on the wait on down. They don't prefer to date on the same level, but they want to go up. But the higher the woman goes up, mathematically speaking, the the amount of options available are going to dwindle. They're going to diminish. That's just how math works. And a lot of women don't like that. They go, well, the men don't have to compromise. Well, men are different. A man could be making a lot of money. He'll still date the girl from Starbucks.
Right.
He'll make the peasant the queen.
He'll make the peasant the queen. Ladies don't like doing that. We're wired differently. And I'm not knocking women for being wired to be hypergamous. That's how women throughout all human history have been.
Mm-hmm.
But the reality is this: if you're going to want to have the same attractiveness markers as a man, going, I make this money, I have these accolades, I'm high value because of this, to take on the same mindset of a man, which means I'm willing to date down financially. That's what a man's going to do. So if you're going to take one aspect of the man, being the breadwinner, you got to take the other aspect of what I desire is not based off of income. So that's part of the issue with a lot of what she's saying is, sorry, that's the issue with a lot of what she's saying is that you got to factor all that part in, and she's not really doing that.
Yep. You know what's crazy? To all the high earning women, regardless of color out there, is that whole dynamic between provision and lifestyle. You know, let's say she makes $800,000 a year, so she has created this lifestyle for herself. But she meets the perfect guy, but he makes 250,000. He can support their house, their cars, some of their trips or whatever, but he's not quote unquote on her level for her lifestyle. And it's amazing that women that do out earn the man have that as a factor versus a contributing factor. It should be a situation where if a woman's paying 5 grand a month for her stuff and she meets a man who pays everything, isn't she saving $5,000 a month?
Mm-hmm.
So whatever that man is not able to do because you happen to be a doctor, you happen to have a practice, you happen to be a socialite and all these different things, why aren't you using the five to complement the rest of the relationship to increase and have and bring him up to the lifestyle that you have? Because isn't
Because I
that
can
what
do
we,
bad all by myself.
and that's why I said, and I need to get a picture, but get a cat, because they're gonna be single for a long time, and they're gonna be let me see, Miss Williams, Dr. Williams, she's gonna be 81 years old, going, well, baby, I just didn't find him in my lifetime.
Yeah,
I just,
and that's part of the
Cola
issue we're
look over
talking
there.
about.
Cola looking
That's
shocked over
part of the
you.
issue. Yeah. That's part of the
No,
issue
you
we're talking
fine.
about with Dr. Brian saying the wait. I'm all for waiting if we're actually going to wait. And the funny thing is that I think she might agree with me about this because she brings this up with Cam later on in the interview. But if you're going to wait, wait all the way. If a woman's waiting, but she's still racking up a body count, still going out on dates, still having bad experiences and getting trauma, which makes
Good
her more
point. Good point.
makes her more leery, makes her less feminine because she's in a scarcity and a fear mindset, which makes her less feminine because she's less vulnerable, which the feminine is meant to be vulnerable. So she's less vulnerable because she doesn't want to get hurt, and she waits. What's happening is she's corrupting herself for that future guy. Now, if she's gonna wait, maintain her virginity, you know,
her what?
not maintain her virginity, not dating and stuff like that, then yes, I would agree. But even that's going to come to a certain point because your percentage chance of finding the guy you want is going to decrease as you get closer to 30. I
Right.
think by 30, what 90% of women's eggs are gone by 30 or something like that.
35, yep.
Yeah, I know 35 is high risk, but I think at 30, most of the eggs are gone. And so she got to think. She meets the guy of her dreams, and he's going like, "I like you a lot, but why would I put my child at higher risk getting you pregnant when I can just get somebody that's 27, 28, 29 pregnant and have a higher chance of my baby coming out without deformities, without any issues?" And women got to understand that men are statistical and analytical by nature. They're
You
not
seen it.
as they're not as caught up in the feeling and the romance as a woman would be. So he's factoring that in. Do I want a 35-year-old? Do I rather have a 27-year-old? That's just mathematics. So ladies don't consider that in. So you're telling the woman to wait, tell her to wait all the way. Don't wait, but still sleep with the thug guy who's 6'3" with the tattoos that you know erotically that she erotically desires while she's waiting on her husband. Because as that body count adds up, when she meets that guy who's who's an IT software guy, who's introverted, not super dominant in that way. He's not cool and have swag and is a nice vibe. He's boring and routine. He's not going to have the novelty that you would appreciate in a man. But because your wires are all messed up because of what you consider to be masculinity, you're not going to, when you meet that guy, you're not going to receive him as you should. You're not going to reverence him as you should. And he's going to notice that and he's going to move on. So that's the danger with her point about waiting. If you're going to wait all the way.
Yeah.
Don't wait in the sense of, because what happens, she's not been waiting at all. And so people tend to think that it's better for me to be never married at 41 than divorced. Most
Matter of
men
fact,
prefer.
that's the next question. Matter of fact, that's the next question.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Then my fault. Go ahead.
That's the next question. Just my 2 cents. So unrealistic standards that you can hold out for your potential mate. So next question is 41 and divorce worse than 41 and unmarried? Start with Derek.
Mm. Because we're talking about her, I would say yes. I'd rather somebody has gone through
All right, Cola.
Mm.
Is
it.
41 divorce worse than 41 unmarried?
Oh,
Ooh,
wait.
I think it depends on the person, the circumstance. 41 and never close to being married, never like had any realistic relationships or long lasting relationships, you have unrealistic expectations. So somebody who is already gone through it is going to be more understanding and cooperative, right?
Mm.
And let's be real, men love cooperation. So um I'm probably going to go with the latter.
Vulcan, can I go before you go? Because I know
Oh,
you're gonna.
absolutely.
Okay, so she's right, and then you gotta factor in this. You've got a large group of women out there who are so entitled and who think that before a man picks them, they are the absolute prize. And so when you already got somebody thinking they're the prize, and then they're in their mind or in their situation, they're waiting. In their mind, they have built more psychological value for themselves because they've waited, which in turn makes the decision of picking someone even harder. It's already hard to get with an average woman, because well, I won't go there. It's hard to be with an average woman. So when you take somebody like her, she don't even realize it. She's making her life, as far as it comes to being with a man, harder and harder and harder. So I have my 2 cents. And Dr. Williams says she has a dog.
She has a dog. Hey, Darren, you mind reading something? Because I got to step out for
I
a few
got you.
minutes. Can you run your mouth, and then Vulcan, you give your answer after that?
I got you. She run your mouth fresh as I want to point out that these charlatans continue to engage and beat opponents who were what do you say? Who were I'll be equipped for the fight to begin with. A bunch of Jake Pauls, a tragic. I don't know where he was going with that, but okay. um, Dr. Williams says it's part of her trauma. She has a dog, and I thought that was funny. She's
Yeah.
oh
So as far as me addressing the point about, is it my turn to address the point of what you saying?
yes, sir.
And the question again was what again?
The question. Oh shoot, how would be what was the question, Cola?
Is it
So
better for
Oh yeah, yeah.
41-year-old woman who's never been married or one who's previously been divorced?
yeah. So I mean, I think for most men, and for myself included, it's better for to meet a woman who was married. Let's say I meet a woman who got married at 21 and divorced at 31 or 41. But a woman who's been single from 21 to 41. I'm going to choose the one who was married because, from the masculine perspective, she was preserved in that marriage. I know how many bodies she's had if she's the woman. If she's the woman I've been considering for marriage, meaning that I don't think she's a promiscuous woman, that I know that she's been preserved. And so now she's been preserved as far as body count. And women have to understand. Let me speak to that real quickly. That's rooted in the male biology because you got to think before technology. Even with technology, there's still a high percentage of men who find out that's not their child. But before technology, you could never know if a child was your child unless you had a woman who was not promiscuous because there's no way to test it. Especially in homogeneous societies where you got just all white, all black, all Asian, how most societies were for most of human history. The child will look similar to you. So you might be stuck raising somebody else's child if she's promiscuous. So men are having hardwired in their DNA to not like promiscuous women.
Right.
It's a part of our DNA. And that being the case, so body count's going to matter, not because men are insecure, not because men are intimidated by other men. Not saying that stuff's not a factor at all, but primarily it's because we're hardwired to not like women who are promiscuous. I already gave you the study that once a woman has passed 5 bodies, her chances of being happy in a relationship go to like 20%.
Mm.
God,
Pair
that's an
bonding.
amazing stat.
Statistically speaking. So someone out there like, that ain't the case for me. We're talking about our community, not you.
For sure.
Let's think above and beyond ourselves for this conversation, at least.
That's amazing.
And so that's why the body count thing is going to always be important. And it's not to shame anybody whose body count's higher than that. I'm just giving you that's what the numbers are. Men suck in a lot of ways. Well, she's not talking about how men suck right now. We're not talking about that. But so the body count thing is going to be very important. I think I lost track of what the question was and what we were answering it. But yeah, I remember now. So yeah. So then it comes to the 41-year-olds been preserved. One is body count. Number two is trauma. Women deal with trauma through fear and anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
And that's never a healthy way to go into a relationship. So once they experience one bad experience, they're trying to go overcompensate the other direction all the time. So we want to protect women from having those traumas. So if I know a woman's been in a marriage with one bad guy, she doesn't have a big enough sample size to say all men suck, and therefore that's why I'm gonna treat you this way when I first meet you. Because just her husband sucks. You know, hear me still?
Yeah.
Yes.
Because my phone's saying it's overheating and it's gonna close. It's gonna close automatically in 20 seconds. But so yeah.
So 20 seconds or less.
Yeah, so that's
20
Uh-oh.
seconds is up.
My man, Run Your Mouth Fresh said Riley Freeman would not approve this conversation. I see. I don't know who these people are. Anybody? Who's Riley Freeman?
This is the Boondock. Riley Freeman is one of the two main
Oh,
protagonists alongside Huey Freeman of the
Right.
2005 Adult Swim animated TV series The
I
Boondock.
smoke with cigarette.
Run Your Mouth Fresh said men make money to support others. Women use money to gain the independence from man.
Dang. Hey, look
Okay.
here.
I'm gonna speak facts on that.
Mic
That's
drop.
straight up. Like
Mm,
I was with my son's dad for 10 years, and you know, I was younger, and for a long time I was like, okay, like I'm gonna let him try to get himself together. Let's him, he's older, let's like try to help him like with his dream, right? But then once I realized he was just a dreamer, baby, I was look, let me focus on my dream now. Let me make some money. I'm out. Okay.
mm,
That is straight facts.
mm. Yeah, he said that. Shout out to Fresh. You have to support. Okay, the independence. All right. Derry, you got anything to say to that?
Oh no.
He said, oh no. All
Mm-mm.
right, let's get back into the
He
get
said, I
back to
don't want
the
no trouble. They gonna ban me. They gonna be like, she's part of the He-Man hater club. No.
all right. Let's get
In my
started.
research, I thought it was 4, but 8. Okay,
No, baby.
cool.
It's
By how
8.
many women?
3. And this is the
Uh-oh.
kicker. I want more. Now,
By
Say it ain't so.
multiple women? What's the intent?
I
I'm
just
just saying,
want
or by
God
your
to bring
wife?
him. I just want God to bring him.
Oh, okay. And you have, so you just
Because
dream,
my
okay.
point is this. My desire to get married
Mhm.
is lower than my fear of divorce. So, as you had said, Dr. Bryant, you said it. I didn't say it. I will agree. I'm just taking my time.
You're not taking your time.
I am though.
You're being very action-based. You're not taking your time. You're being very action-based.
I'm taking my
You're
time.
being very action-based. You have 8 kids with
Yeah.
3 different women.
Yes.
You are creating, procreating, and multiplying. That is not taking your time. You're being very selectively active.
Mm.
Okay? So you're creating,
Mm-hmm.
in disclaimer, the kids are innocent. They are beautiful and amazing. Anything I say has nothing to do with them babies, because I can't wait to be a mom, and I love the kids, period. But you are proactively choosing where you want to be active at and where you want to take your time.
Mm-hmm.
You want to take your time in having a wife because of your own fears. But you will, and I say this with all respect and love, what I'm about to say next, okay, Cam? But you will selfishly create broken families, even if you're in their life and you're a proactive father. And I believe you're an amazing daddy. I can only imagine with just your presence and knowing you thus far. But these families are still broken. Every child cannot have papa in the house with them. So some child, if not all, will end up with some kind of deficit without daddy being there. Now, you chose to do that. I'm not saying you sat there and woke up one morning and said, I want to be selfish today, so I'm going to go make a baby. Not saying that at all. But those are selfish acts at the expense of your fear. So at what point do you feel the fear, do it anyways? And yeah, that is a low functioning behavior to say that I am going to create these homes. Oh, let me go better. I'm going to build these houses and put kids and these beautiful women and kids in them, but I ain't going to create a home in them. I'm going to wait till I dissipate my fear to find a wife where I'm still going to be fearful with, because there's no such thing as not having some type of nerve or some type of feeling behind marrying somebody who you're spending your life with. And then I'm going to build a home with her while all these other beautiful babies have houses. That's completely unfair and it's selfish.
Just tell me when I can solve.
Yeah, almost. That's completely unfair and that's selfish.
Wow.
And so
That's a lot, man. That's a lot. And mind you, just that for people that's watching, Cam Newton has eight. Cam has 8 kids.
Yep.
8 kids. So my question. Okay. So my question: does a blended family equal a broken home
Does a blended
family?
What do you mean by blended?
Meaning that, from my understanding, Cam kids live with him.
all 8?
I believe so.
Oh, maybe that's what
That
he's
comes
got.
up later on, but since you asked the question, I had a question tied to that. But yeah, I think all his kids live with him and his current significant other.
Oh, well, then that makes sense why he's trying to find the right one.
I mean,
Right.
he's with yeah.
Yeah,
So
if he's got his babies living in the big mansion with him, I ain't fit to bring no normal or yeah, we're not just gonna bring any woman in that situation.
Right.
so that's considered a blended family because I think he's with somebody. I think he has a girlfriend or whatever. So
I would.
so does a
Oh, sorry. I'm
so
sorry. Go ahead, bro.
no go ahead. I was just going to ask the question. So does a blended family equal a broken home? That's the question.
I think. Oh, I'm gonna get beat up for this. I think if you had to choose between the man with the kids and the woman with the kids, and then ask the question of which one has a better way to be more successful, I would venture to say the one where the dad has the kids
But
versus
statistics support
versus.
what you're saying.
Oh, okay. Well then, hey, I'm gonna
Right.
drop.
They do.
There it is. Then there it is. Then
You
because
still
bringing.
muted, Vulcan?
What the studies show is that, and this is pretty startling even when I saw this, because obviously my belief is that I believe that a man and a woman and children, that's the ideal situation. That's what's best. That's the way it was intended to be. But what the studies seem to suggest is that a guy with his kids is statistically just as good as a couple with kids.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Yep. I saw
balance.
that.
Yep.
And that is because the absence of a man in the home equates to the absence of femininity in the home. Because a woman can live in her femininity when she's trying to be the provider, right? And so what she ends up being is cold. So in turn, when a man is absent from the house, the femininity in the home leaves. And
Mm.
that can cause issues because a women are naturally supposed to be feminine. So it causes all these issues within the children and stress because she's
Now,
yelling at the kids or
now,
taking
now,
out the kids.
now, let me ask you this: why is it different? And I don't disagree with you, but why is it different? So you have a woman with no man, and you said there's an absence of femininity there, right? But then you have a man with no woman. There's an absence of femininity there as well. So why is that one working out so much better than the woman without the
That's tough.
femininity?
Because men provide more structure. Period. Like what not I'm not saying a woman can't provide structure and can't raise her children perfectly and naturally, but typically as women we're emotional. So emotions it can create a different environment versus daddy ain't playing. You hear that bass in your voice, you're gonna do what you're gonna do and you're gonna move forward. And I feel like most men who are single fathers, they get up and they do what they're supposed to do, and they just keep it moving through their circumstances. That's not the case for all women. Some women
Yeah,
don't want to be alone, so they're doing all this other stuff where they have to sneak around and it's just a different scenario.
Yeah, I think it's easier for a man to teach a young woman, a young girl how to become a woman than a woman teaching a man how to do it. And I don't know if that's somehow some way connected to woman came from man, but there is. I could if there is no woman around in my life, I could raise my daughters to be great women of God and great women in general in this society.
Wow.
You look at the black community and you look at the single mom. I'm gonna say something, somebody's gonna take offense, but I don't mean it that way because it's the truth. A lot of black men that grew up in single family homes where the mother was the sole provider, you very seldom ever, well, I'm not gonna say ever, you very seldom see that son marry anybody like his mother.
Hell yeah.
Wow.
yeah. A
So
lot of
you
times
so
they don't even date within their ethnicity anymore.
Yeah.
But the goal is like right.
They
But
don't.
I know I've met a lot of women who said their son don't even date black women. I've met a lot of women like that. My son don't even date black women.
Wait a minute, where you live? Oh, you can't say where you live, but yeah, yeah, where
I can
you
say
are
where I
from.
live, but I mean, the thing is, like, I've heard it across the board. People that transplant from other places, they all say the same thing.
Oh, I
It's
agree.
just, it's just like they don't do that. But I wanted to go back to what we're talking about as far as the being raised by a father versus being raised by a mom. And I'm saying this for the audience's benefit right here is that historically speaking, that was very common. It wasn't until the last, I don't know, 50 years, 60 years, whatever it is, that the woman got the kids and the family split up. The kids were considered property of the father for most of human history and in most societies around the world. The father went with the
mm,
kids. I mean, the kids went with the father.
of course
So
you
we've
got my
only,
last name. You're my
huh?
property. Uh,
Yeah.
they got the last name. You're the
And,
property. No, I'm
and
joking.
this isn't in any way to speak disparagingly about women. Women and men operate different roles. We have different proclivities. We have different desires. We have different temperaments. We have different focuses. We have focuses that are going to overlap as well. Obviously, we're still humans, but we have different focuses that also make distinctions. And so, a lot of times when you have ladies, Barack Obama did a study on all this kind of stuff, all the ills of single mom homes, higher risk of teen pregnancy, lower literacy rates, higher crime rates, all these things, lower socioeconomic mobility. All of these things factor when you do a single, parent, a single mom home. Now, I want to say this part though too, in light of what Derek said. Uh, Even though that the kids tend to fare better in those areas when they're raised by the father, I will say this: men do tend to raise their daughters to be like guys. If I can quote like Biggie Smalls. Biggie Smalls said, "Give my daughter this college plan so she don't need no man."
No man. Hmm.
Men don't tend to care if their daughters actually end up getting married. And I don't mean every man, but generally speaking, a lot of men prefer their daughters were gay. Don't be with a man, period. And so what happens is a lot of women who are raised by men, they tend to be more masculine. And not more masculine than women raised by women. I'm not saying that. They're more masculine than a healthy home. That's
Yeah.
not quantifiable, though. That's not. I'm not pulling from a study in this right here. I'm just this is anecdotal because there's no study that really showed this part of what women being more masculine. But men, what makes a man a great man for a woman is not what makes a woman a great woman for a man. And when she's raised by her father, the man's going to tell her, "Get your own stuff. You don't need no man. Get your money up. Get your degree up." He's telling all these things that make a man very attractive. And then she goes out into the world as this dominant force, and she's wondering why a lot of times men don't find her as attractive. Even if she's a great homegirl, she knows about sports, she's cool to hang around with, she has witty banter, she's used to, exchanging witty banter with her brothers and her dad and stuff like that. But that makes for a good homegirl. That makes for a good, friends with benefit or whatever. It doesn't always make for a good wife. And so there is that danger. Not saying this is all across the board all the time, but there is this danger that women who are raised by their father tend to take on masculine qualities. Masculine's looking at the world,
That's what Help the
and that's
Bear
not
used
always
to say.
healthy as
Shut.
well.
Help the Bear used to always tell me behind the scenes. He's like, a woman's not funny. She just got a lot of brothers. That's all. All right, so let's get into the comments. Let's go. Let's go. Run your mouth fresh said money alone doesn't make a woman valuable. There are corn stars and strippers who are millionaires and who will never find a high value man who is willing to deal with that past. For sure. You see more issues in the schools with the kids that don't have a father at home. Yeah, this is true. This is true.
Absolutely right.
Yeah, studies support that. I agree with Cola. Those dads are the ones who are the ones who discipline their kids. All right, don't
Yeah,
start.
and
Wow.
part of that. Oh, sorry.
Oh, this last one, Cola. Everyone loves cooperation. All right, go ahead.
Well,
Whoever.
I'll say this. I mean, I'm gonna address that last point first. Everybody loves cooperation. Yes to no. Of those of us men who've been on dates with women, women don't like cooperation in certain things. They want you to make a decision. So I always give this example. Let's say me and a woman are talking about, hey, I meet a lady, we're at somewhere hanging out or whatever. We're going to go after this right here. If I, as a man, like, well, I don't know, you decide, I don't know. Like, what do you think? Let's, whatever. He's turned off.
Hell yeah, I'm gonna leave your ass alone.
Exactly. He's like, I thought you were a man. I thought you were going to know what we're supposed to do after this. I'm wanting to hear you give me direction. I want to know that you got a plan. And so everybody does love cooperation, obviously, in the way that Freshly is stating, but there's a real aspect of it where it's like, no, don't cooperate with me, lead me.
Right. Women value consideration over cooperation.
That's very well stated. I want to be considered. Ask me, after you made the plan, we cool with that? We're gonna do this right here at this time. Be dressed at this time. She might be like, "Well, I need more time to get dressed than that." That was her consideration. That's it. So yeah, I would say that part. And I forgot the other point I was going to make.
I said you didn't get a chance to answer the first question. Does this make a blended family equal? Oh, does a blended family equal to a broken home? Because Cam Newton has 8 kids.
No,
And,
I would say it doesn't. A blended family does not equal to, and this is where I think she's being a little dishonest in her desire to want to, go back and forth with him and exchange the witty banter again. She's being a little dishonest, and in her field, she knows better than this. What a blended family by definition is, and what a broken family by definition is, and so she split it to. She equivocated the two, which are not the same thing. Anybody take a moment in your phone to look up blended family, look up broken family, the same thing. So that was dishonest on her part to do that.
Wow. Okay. So you saying she's probably being dishonest because of the field she's in, so there's a good chance she probably being dishonest?
No.
No,
I'm not saying that.
Okay, what are you saying there?
I'm saying that she's being dishonest because given her field of study, she knows what the definition of a blended family is. She knows what the definition of a broken family is. A blended family is not a broken family.
Right. I want to know.
You can have a lady who got pregnant, met a guy while she was pregnant. They're a blended family. They're not a broken family. They get married, live together. That's not a broken family. So, is a broken family a family where the lady lies to the guy the whole time and he thinks it's his kid, but it's not, and now the kids are grown? Was that a broken family unbeknownst to them because they were blended? No. So yeah, she's being a little dishonest. She's not being a little. She's being dishonest with that because given her field of study, she knows better than that. But it was all a part of her way of incriminating Cam Newton. She had to incriminate him in some kind of way, and that was one of the best ways to do it.
Wow.
I think she may even be borderline lying to herself because does she have eggs frozen? Because I'm 42. I can't wait to be a mom. Like, when you gonna be a mom?
When you gonna be a mom? You still gotta meet this guy.
When you gonna be a mom, you gotta meet him, you gotta court, you gotta get pregnant. Like
all of that.
when you gonna be a mom?
And obviously, has the finances to be able to freeze her eggs and all that kind of stuff. But that's not meant to be the everyday regular plan. That is a supplement because she has been so disagreeable and her preferences, aka standards, whatever she want to call them, are so egregious and so outlandish that she ended up 41 and unmarried. That is not a blueprint for our young ladies out there.
Wow. Wow. Okay. Hey, Vulcan, go ahead. If you mind giving the next question to the panel. And I think we only got a couple more after that. And then we can then I play the next video after that.
What's the question?
The question.
Or you want me to find it? Like, you want me to pull the questions up and then go do that? You guys are asking me to do?
Yeah, I just sent you one. I just sent you the next question right quick. 'Cause I can
Okay.
all right, I'm about to go.
Read this. Is she right? Is she right? Compartmentalization never works. So she asked the question in the video. I don't know if we heard this again. This is probably not the best time for him to get off because y'all get that? Compartmentalization never works.
Say that again.
Compartmentalization never works. She
Hold
says
on.
that during the clip where she says compartmentalizing never works.
Y'all want me to play it back?
Yeah, 'cause I need the context. I don't think I caught that.
All right.
No, baby.
Cool.
It's
By how
8.
many women?
3. And this is the kicker. I want more. Now,
By multiple women? What's the intent?
I
I'm
just want
or
God
by
to
your
bring
wife?
them. I just want God to bring them.
Oh, okay. And you have, so you just
Because my point is this. My desire to get married is lower than my fear of divorce. So, as you had said, Dr. Bryant, you said it, I didn't say it, I will agree. I'm just taking my time.
You're not taking your time.
I am, though.
You're being very action-based. You're not taking your time. You're being very action-based.
I'm taking my time.
You're being very action-based. You have 8 kids with 3 different women.
Yes.
You are creating, procreating, and multiplying. That is not taking your time. You're being very selectively active. Okay? So you're creating, in disclaimer, the kids are innocent. They are beautiful and amazing. Anything I say has nothing to do with them babies because I can't wait to be a mom and I love the kids, period. But you are proactively choosing where you want to be active at and where you want to take your time. You want to take your time in having a wife because of your own fears. But you will, and I say this with all respect and love, what I'm about to say next, okay, Cam? But you will selfishly create broken families, even if you're in their life and you're a proactive father, and I believe you're an amazing daddy. I can only imagine with just your presence and knowing you thus far. But these families are still broken. Every child cannot have Papa in the house with them. So some child, if not all will end up with some kind of deficit without daddy being there. Now, you chose to do that. I'm not saying you sat there and woke up one morning and said, I want to be selfish today, so I'm going to go make a baby. Not saying that at all. But those are selfish acts at the expense of your fear. So at what point do you feel the fear, do it anyways? And yeah, that is a low functioning behavior to say that I am going to create these homes. Oh, let me go better. I'm going to build these houses and put kids and these beautiful women and kids in them, but I ain't going to create a home in them. I'm going to wait till I dissipate my fear to find a wife where I'm still going to be fearful with, because there's no such thing as not having some type of nerve or some type of feeling behind marrying somebody who you're spending your life with. And then I'm going to build a home with her while all these other beautiful babies have houses. That's completely unfair and it's selfish.
Just tell me when I can solve.
Yeah, almost. That's completely unfair and that's selfish. And so, yes, you're taking your time in this department, but you're not taking your time in this department, which means you're compartmentalizing. And compartmentalizing never works. Compartmentalizing hurts everybody involved. Everybody who's in this box and that box and this box and that box and this box. And then here you go over here trying to figure out what box you're going to feed or entertain or do. Then you're looking outside to figure out who's your next victim to put in the box. It's unhealthy. And it's a huge dysfunction within our Black community that I truly believe personally, statistically, mental health wise, and community wise, that Black men would stop.
Black men will what?
Stop doing that, that they would stop that dysfunctional behavior of compartmentalizing and creating houses, not homes, and then finally a home with the wife. And then you have all these other houses that are homeless. But you over here, at some point when you do get a wife, if you do, I'm saying if that's what you want, you will. You'll get whatever you want. You're trying to create a home. Totally dysfunctional and extremely, that's the epitome of selfish. Epitome of selfish. I'm done. You can go for it.
Okay, say less. All right, so what identifies as a broken home?
What you have going on with these, whoever you're not in the house with is a broken home. It's called a blended family. It's called a blended family.
That means?
That the family is blended. So blended
So
means,
blended means broken?
Yeah.
Okay. So the guy that you were entertaining, you would go as low as 26.
That I would entertain?
Yes.
Got it. Okay.
And as high as what age?
Whatever man that doesn't have kids.
As high as?
Whoever doesn't have kids, whatever age he is with no kids.
I just.
No, that's the age. I'm saying I don't have an age range as far as how old if he has no kids.
So your
he's a
non-negotiable is a person who does not have children.
My non-negotiable is a person with kids, but yes, I get how you're saying it. Yes.
So you cannot date a person. You cannot be with a person.
I can, but I'm choosing not to.
So
I can be with anyone, but I'm choosing not to.
You're.
I gotta correct it. It's my narrative, Cam.
You're
I
like
can,
jumping in, jumping out. It's either.
Cam. No, it's not I can't. There's no such thing. I can date whoever I want. I am definitely well equipped to do so. Okay. So I'm not going to allow that word to be something that fits what I can't do. I'm well equipped to date anybody. Yes. My preference, because there's nothing wrong with a lot of men who have kids. So I don't want to put that narrative out there. Yes. My personal preference is I would not choose to date a man with kids.
Okay.
Yes.
So you're dating a man with kids.
That was my first time seeing that part, Falcon. When you were talking about, she said that broken and dysfunction was the same. That was my first time seeing it.
Me too.
So.
Yeah. So I'll say this. She's using, Enos is back. You got anything you want to say, Enos?
No, I think that's the video we was gonna cover. I'm going to ask the question. Excuse me. All right, so okay, so now in the video, you remember when she said she wouldn't date kids, right? I think that was the last thing she said.
You wouldn't date kids? I hope not.
She wouldn't date.
I hope not.
She wouldn't date anyone who has kids, right? That's her. That's a deal breaker.
That's an internal fairy tale talking.
So she gonna go get a 20-year-old.
Who gonna give her a kid and then leave?
Mm-hmm. It's her preference. Oh, wait a minute, hold on. It's a preference advantageous for her? That's the question.
Was there still a compartmentalization question, or are we past that now?
I'm not sure. Did y'all? I wasn't on. Did y'all?
No, we didn't address that.
All we've done so far is watch the video.
Okay. All right. Well, y'all go ahead and answer that then.
And what's the question?
I can't remember. I had to read. I can't remember.
I mean, what I got from you was let me see here. It's read this. Is she right? Compartmentalization never works. So I want to say this. I don't know if everybody understands this. So compartmentalization just means to put things in different compartments, right? That's how we use it colloquially in just everyday conversation. Now, compartmentalization from a psychological perspective is when you put things in different boxes to avoid the obvious contradictions, to avoid the cognitive dissonance that takes place. So compartmentalization in the psychology world and the therapy world is a negative thing because it's basically saying that you're putting things, you're not allowing obvious contradictions to manifest. So your mind's separating them in ways that are not fair or not honest to deceive yourself in some kind of way. That what you're doing is not conflicting with another value that you hold to.
That's what.
So that's what compartmentalization that she's referring to. Anybody want to speak to the question, or you want me to continue?
No, I
No, that's
have no
cool.
idea what all that meant. I didn't.
Yeah.
I
So
think that in those contexts, that is correct, but I don't think it applies to the scenario. She's trying to put him in a scenario and make that like the situation.
absolutely, and part of my reason why I thought this video was a good video I'm talking too fast. And part of the reason why I think this video was a good video to cover was because have seen all of the various perspectives online on social media, especially from the ladies and even a lot of the men, guys that I respect and appreciate their perspective, really just going after Cam Newton. I don't know if they're
Yeah,
really looking at this thing from a very fair vantage point. So she hasn't really asked what his situation is yet.
interesting.
And if you watch the video, he later clears up that his kids live with him. And so he doesn't have a family over here and a family over there and a family over there. His kids live with him, at least by what he's saying. That's not a broken home.
Mm.
Statistically speaking, his kids will fare just about as well as a two-parent home. I'm not saying that all of us who have certain spiritual beliefs that doesn't sit wrong with us to some extent, because we know the way that ideally it should be. But just off the numbers and in her field of study, she knows that him doing that, and she commends him for it later on. But she started off wanting to incriminate him, and I got you moment. She didn't ask any questions. She had her assumptions that she imposed upon his situation, and it ended up being faulty. So
Mm.
that's what we're seeing here as it unfolds. And she's saying the compartmentalization is because she's saying that he's trying to explain away his situation.
Mhm.
He is deceiving himself so that the obvious contradictions and inefficiencies in his strategy and what he's doing don't manifest itself. And it ended up not even being the case. I really want to know, who is she counseling? Like, she should not be counseling anybody for the most part.
Wow, really?
What kind of counselor just has an assumption that she imposes on somebody, redefines terms in her field of study like blended family and broken home to incriminate someone, and then try to provide it as advice to disseminate in the broader society. She is not
Wow.
responsible with her platform.
Hmm.
Anybody
Wow.
got anything else on that?
Oh, that's clear.
Man, I think as far as people responding to the video and what was said in the video, you're probably the only person I heard say that. There's probably some other guys that might have felt or thought the same things some of the same things you're thinking, or the rest are the guests on this panel. But that's strong statements, man. That's a strong statement. All right, so Derek, Cole, y'all got anything?
Mm-mm.
He said,
That comment.
He
no
touched
comment.
it.
I
All
mean,
right.
I just think it's crazy, like the wording, like people would use words the way that they want. Just like I feel like the term
uh,
single mother is used too much. I tell like people be like, "Oh, you're a single mom." No, I'm not a single mother. They have a daddy and he is active. I am a single woman with children in a home that the father doesn't live there.
You're doing too much.
Look, for real though. For
You're
real.
doing too much, Cola. Stop it.
I'm serious though. That's my belief. That's my belief. Like it's different. Like I guess, but my kids go back and forth. They stay with their dad for like 2 weeks. They stay with me for 3. So
Okay,
All right.
I see where you were going with that.
All right, run your mouth fresh said, can't wait to be a mother at 40. It's crazy. Not only can she not only can she wait, but she's the best she's the best at it. Hey, facts, man.
That's fact.
Dr. A, Dr. A. Williams says she's adopting a child at the age of 40. Hey, yeah, that might be
for
a good
real.
idea. That
Yo,
might be a
she's
good
held
idea.
on to this idea of starting her own family, whatever that means, to where like I can't deal with a guy who has kids or a kid. This is completely asinine. This lady's values are all jacked up. And Cam does an excellent job of pointing out like the obvious mathematical difficulties that are surmounting her in her particular situation. It's
Yeah.
like you're so enveloped in this idea of getting a man with no kids, you're astronomically, exponentially compounding the odds of finding that particular guy.
And they were already tiny.
Yeah, they were already
Right.
tiny because you make so much money and you're so famous and you're so dominant. You're such a disagreeable person that most men aren't going to be put up with it anyway.
Mm.
She's
Yeah, because
already
when I
probably
was
just on those things I mentioned right there, probably already only looking for 1% of men. Then on top of that, they can't have any kids.
Drop down to 0.00001. Get a cat.
I'm not judging her and audience. I'm not judging her
some your
decision.
audio is choppy a little bit. I don't know if you have to lift
For
your
mine,
device up. Yeah, it would sound like you're underwater.
Are you on top of your speaker?
yeah,
On
is it still acting up or where am I at now?
it's is your speaker on the bottom?
Let me see here. I haven't moved it since I've been talking for a while, but I mean maybe I gotta adjust. Let me see about.
That sound that sound a little better. Just
Yeah.
How's it now? Is it better or no better?
Uh,
I
Okay,
can
let me
hear
try.
you,
Let me
but
try something else. Y'all go ahead and go. I'm gonna try to figure something else out.
put it side, turn it sideways. All right,
Sitting
so
sideways.
I said
Look,
Dr. A. Williams said she's adopted. Yeah, I said that already. All right, so the absence of femininity
Wait, the one
was
above it. The one
just.
above it is a good one.
Oh, I missed one.
Yeah,
What I missed? What I missed?
right, that one right
Oh,
there.
she would be Oh, she would be single the rest of her life. Ah, now the way it looks, yeah, that's what she's headed. She's definitely headed in that direction,
her dog
especially because
gonna
she
have
has
puppies.
a lot of standards. Somebody that doesn't have any kids at her age. I mean, that like limits the pool of men she can actually date.
That's
So
like
yeah,
a
the absent. No, go ahead there.
I say it's like a guy my age, like a 53-year-old man saying, "Well, I just want to meet a 45-year-old who's a virgin. Just
Yeah, that's equivalent. Yeah, that's
it's
close.
out there somewhere in the world. I just want to meet it, and I know I can make it happen. Stop it."
That's close. That's a good analogy. Yeah, so with just a father still needs natural masculinity in the home, the absence of femininity with just a mother robs the children of both natural behaviors. Yeah,
Facts.
man, good
Interesting.
point. Good point.
Facts.
Man said naturally robs. She's being dishonest because she knows Cam won't catch that misnomer. Dr. A. Williams says, "Are you a senator, Tim Scott?" God, I don't. Yeah, I'm glad to help me with that.
Yeah, you gotta help me too. I'm old. I don't know what that meant, Dr. Williams.
Yeah, I'm not sure. All right, so
I mean,
yeah, I
look
think
him
we
up.
covered that. That was some good points that everybody was making. I think we can. I think we should go ahead and just move on
Yes, sir.
to. Yeah, let's just move on. Anybody, y'all go ahead and anything else y'all want to add to maybe we was talking some of the topics we was talking about in the past while I pull up this video. Anything y'all want to bring up while I set this up? All right, so 150.
Good.
No, nobody has nothing to say. Anything
Yeah,
to say?
I just want to say this
No,
for
sir.
all the audience members out here. Sorry, go ahead. I just want to say this for all the audience people
Oh
out
no, I was
there.
clearing my throat. My bad.
Yeah, I'm not telling her she can't have the preference that she wants to have. The issue is teaching this stuff to younger ladies. Don't set them up
Important.
to be 41 years old, still looking for this diamond in the rough.
Hmm.
And I also want to do this to find this preference. I heard what you said, it's about standards or whatever. A lot of people mask their superficiality and quote unquote standards. So I want to give people a definition of what a standard is and what a preference is. A preference doesn't have to be rooted in anything above and beyond yourself. Like I may like strawberry over chocolate. I don't need to give any kind of rubric outside of myself of why that is the case.
Right.
A standard is talking about something above and beyond yourself. Like I may have a moral standard. Like I do not want to hire anybody who's a thief. That's a standard. If I say I don't want to hire anybody that went to A&M, that's a preference. So a lot of times ladies go, well, my standard is you got to make this amount of money. My standard is you got to be this height. That is a preference. And you're masquerading your preference as a standard. That's the purpose of this show. I'm calling everybody that hear this to really pay attention to words. Pay attention to the words. A standard has a standard, a rubric, something that says it ought to be this way because of this, and this reason. So a lady saying their standard, they really mean their preference. And that's important because we got to call them out on that. He's got to be this tall. That's my standard. I got to lower my standards. That, ma'am, that's your preference. Nothing wrong with a preference. But if you really think it's a standard, you're going to think you have more of a reason to hold to it and not to compromise on it than you actually do.
Mm.
And we have to be honest with each other about this kind of a thing. The last part I'll bring about this is settling and compromise. Nothing wrong with settling. Remember the new frontier, the settlers? You throw a rock in the lake and it settles to the bottom of the ocean. Settle means to stop moving. If you're a woman who desires to be married at some point in time, you're saying, I desire to settle. We are attaching a negative stigma to settling.
Just
Don't let
settle down.
society.
That's a phrase. Settle
That's it.
down.
Settle down. When are you going to settle down?
Hmm.
You tell your kids, settle down over there.
Hmm.
Let's settle this dispute. I'm just giving some positive stigmas and connotations to the word settle because in this conversation about romance and coupling, settle's gotten such a bad name. Settling is being mature. Compromising is being mature. You have to do that. There's trade-offs. Everybody doesn't get what they want in every single aspect of their preference and their even standards at times. So when you hear your friends being superficial by making their preferences standard, for their sake, liberate them from the shackles of that type of mentality, of a poor understanding of the English language and a very shallow view of what humanity is all about.
Hmm.
And then especially they want to attach God to it.
Oh,
God has somebody for me. Nobody in the Bible, there's no evidence outside of Adam in the Bible where God picked somebody's wife.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Fathers pick the wives for their children. People pick their wives. In the Bible, it would be said, hey, don't pick a wife who worships false gods. That's about it.
Hmm.
It even gave you Proverbs 31, qualities to look for in a wife. I heard women saying things like, God has a man for me, and I'm waiting for him to manifest, and I'll know it when I see it. Unbiblical, unquranic, unvishna, whatever particular religious faith you have.
You said all of
No,
it.
no,
All of the above.
that's a man-made decision, and you can tell it's a man-made decision because what about we'll use the Abrahamic faith, Judaism, Islam, Christianity tells you that God's gonna pick people based off their financial status and looks. When you look throughout the world, people are coupled based off of attractiveness and financial status. What about that is God? The Bible says that God has chosen the poor of this world to be rich in faith. So why is it that you see rich men with attractive women and poor people that aren't attractive with not so attractive people? That's a man-made decision. That's a very superficial man-made way of doing things. I'm not saying it's wrong. Anytime somebody's trying to mystify their decision to find a husband or a wife, or say God told me this or God told me that, nothing in the Bible gives any evidence to the idea that your spouse is picked by God.
Hmm.
Only example you might be to find is Adam and Eve. That's it. That's it. In the Bible, you see fathers picking the wives for their sons. They'll go, so I'm gonna go find you a wife somewhere over there. It doesn't say he
Or you should
consulted God or anything like that. None of that stuff's mentioned.
are you suggesting that we should go back to the men of the brothers and the fathers should help pick the woman's spouse?
That's topic for another day for sure.
Yeah, the
But I, but I
smile.
but I will say this: I am an advocate for arranged marriages. Yes, I am.
Oh, yeah.
Hey,
Topic for
As,
look,
another show.
I be
Topic.
with it. Look, y'all know me, me out somebody good.
Hey,
I just need somebody to take care of me so I can retire him.
we're gonna get our passports, and we're gonna go over there, and Falcon, you can uh, arrange that marriage.
Right.
Look, you know what? I let you pick my husband, James. You know me well.
He may not be black.
Yeah.
Oh, what you think about that?
Look, look. I'm just close my eyes.
So it might not be black. All right, so is her preference advantageous for her? Is her
Mm.
preference advantageous for her?
Her meaning this doctor right here.
Yes, yes, sir.
Oh yeah. Well, it's not. No, it's not gonna be advantageous for her. I was
Mm.
trying to pull up a cat over here to my left on my other screen. All these cute little cats. Dr.
Yeah.
Bryant's gonna pick one of y'all. See, yeah, it's not
Oh man.
advantageous for her. It's
Okay.
statistically and
Delusional.
every other.
Statistically delusional.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, the reason I'm saying I'm going off when she said she want to date someone with kids is that advantageous for her. Her not wanting to date anybody with children.
At 41, it's definitely not advantageous.
Mm.
So, and you got to understand, for a woman to go as low as she's going in age, men don't care about age as much as women do. Women, 40-year-old men don't like dating 20-year-old men.
No, they don't.
You know how desperate she's got to be that she's saying, I'm willing to go down to 26.
Mhm. With low functioning.
Yeah, I'm willing to
With low,
accept some low functioning. But
you
not to
said with low.
somebody that doesn't have kids.
Mm.
I wonder if that not having kids thing I mean, to me, it's an ego thing for sure because you're just not. And that's part of my problem with our community as a black community is we do not care about STEM enough. Science, technology, engineering, mathematics. When I have conversations about all kind of different stuff, including relationships with my African American people, you get labeled a numbers guy, a research guy, a statistics
Mm.
guy by quoting science and math.
Mm.
They
Be
want to
careful
go
with
off
those
their
statistics. Be
intuition.
careful with that. You know
They,
them
they
damn
want to go off their
statistics.
intuition and their experience so much. Well, I know somebody. I felt this when it happens. I'll know it. Life in
Hmm.
shambles, but I'll know it.
And a donor fallacy.
That's why I think this show is so important because we, as a community, we've got to do better. They're on their smartphones that weren't built by intuition. They were built by science,
Mm.
scalable models, and then they
Yeah.
get religious with it. The early scientists were called natural philosophers, and they were theologians. They said the reason why they even did their science was because they said if God's intelligent, he must have created the world in an intelligent way. So I can use my intelligence to discover how he created it. That's the birth of modern
Facts.
day science.
Right.
It would say
That's
it's the
fact.
glory of God to conceal a matter and the glory of a king to search it out.
Mm, bars.
So if we're gonna spiritualize this, which I'm an advocate for. Let's spiritualize it all the way. You're not gonna manifest your way into your husband. You're gonna have to humble yourself. You have to get cooperative. And you have to realize a lot of your preferences are completely arbitrary and influenced by social media and TV. And your grandma would have called you crazy if you'd have told her that.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Where we at now,
Well, we are at this video. Here we go. I'm gonna ask you a question after this. This is the wrong screen. All right, here we go.
About the political construct of a family.
Societal construct,
If you,
political construct,
if
however you
that's
want to word.
if you want to,
But
that's what I'm saying. If
you're
you want to
saying
call it that,
things,
that's fine. Listen,
those things that you
whatever we label it
express,
doesn't change
I
our
do that
decisions,
though.
though.
That's what I'm trying to. That's what you don't understand.
So all of your baby mamas live in one house.
No, they do
Okay.
not. But my children stay with me.
So then it's still a broken
That's what
household.
I'm
The
trying to tell
mothers
you.
aren't in your home, so it doesn't make a
But
difference.
that's making the best of the situation.
Right. And listen, and let me say this: that part, I agree with.
Mhm.
That part, I admire in you.
Okay.
That part, I think is amazing.
Right.
Cam, look at me. That part, I say thank you
Mhm.
for being a man who's vertical, who stood up and dealt with his decisions, whether it was decisions you liked or you didn't, or you planned or you didn't,
Mhm.
and you did what you had to do. That's called a man.
Wow. Wow. She asked the questions later on. She ended up finding that out at the end. Question: is this a broken home? Kids are living with him. Got three baby mothers, but all of his children live with him. Is this a broken home?
Nope. This
Okay,
might
yeah, we
be
did touch.
not I. Well, I'll answer that later. I'll just say no for now.
All right. Cola.
I'm just gonna go with no.
Vulcan.
Sorry, you said a question one more time?
Is this a broken home? Cam, 8 kids, all of them live with him with three different baby mothers. While you thinking
See,
and pondering on your
this
answer, Dana Grace said yes. Okay.
if
That's
broken home is defined as a home that doesn't have the biological mother and father living in it together with their progeny, then okay, fine, it's a broken home. But my issue more is the stigma placed on a broken home in her attempt to incriminate him.
mm, talk about it.
I would say he's in a much better situation as however old Cam Newton is. I'm assuming probably close to my age, probably. With his situation, and she is at 41 years old with no kid, talking about she wants a guy between 26 and whatever that with no kids. And she's an ornery lady who can't get along with any man. So the fact that the emphasis is being placed on his situation in order to, in a salesy way, in a leverage kind of way, make it seem like he's the one who's needs therapy. I reject that. But I'm not a therapist. I don't know the technical definition of a broken home as they have defined it anyway. But I can say
Wow.
that according to statistics, his home is just as good as any home that we wouldn't consider broken. And that to me is what's more important.
And we were making that assumption on a regular guy.
Yeah,
This dude's rich.
Right.
yeah,
So that takes it up some level. He's only 35 years old.
35 years old.
Mm,
Mm-mm-mm.
okay.
But 100 plus
Anybody?
mil.
So I say it's way better than the latter. Look, he got less kids and less baby mamas than my daddy. I'm one of 11. I have two siblings my age by the time I turn to the next year. My oldest brothers are 9 days apart.
Wow.
And this is anecdotal, but and this is no offense to anybody that's hearing this that's in a situation, but I've talked to countless people who have parents who are way too old to be having kids when they had them. And these people are at 20, 30 years old, concerned with their parents' mortality, taking care of their parents because their parents had them at 40 and 50 years old. That is not historically how humanity's been run. You look around China, India, the Middle East, Americas, South America, parents are 15 years older than their kids, 20 years older than their kids, 25 years older than their kids.
Like
We
back
got
in the
people.
day.
We got people in their
That's how
30s.
America
Parents.
used to be.
We got people that's in their 30s. Parents is in their 70s already, 60s, 70s already. Nothing wrong with that. But I've had to hear these people lament the fact that they're already having to see their parents unravel physically and mentally.
Sure, for
My
sure.
parents are 20 years older than me. When I was a kid, I was racing my dad to see who was faster. I was playing my dad 1-on-1 in basketball when I was 13 years old. And won. He wouldn't say that probably, but I beat him.
Yeah, there was some fun times. Me and my dad going back and forth 1-on-1. The older he got, the harder the fouls was.
Yeah.
All right,
Where we at now,
all right, we gotta. This is I believe this is the last question for tonight, man. Thank y'all for joining us. But then we'll play the segment. Get y'all thoughts on this.
Last word.
Oh shit.
Disgust.
A nasty, abusive, narcissist personality, attitude, um, with no intent but to bleed and spill their pain onto other people. Disgusting.
There you have it.
Yeah.
But can I go back to something real quick?
Yeah, of course, of course.
With your prognosis, Dot, of my situation, would you consider me a high value man?
High valued or high functioning?
High value and high functioning.
High valued, yes. I think that you are. Wait. Well, hold on. Value
you
is
got
different
my
than functioning.
undivided attention.
Okay. High
So-
valued, yes.
Okay.
Because obviously you have the value,
Okay.
right? High functioning, I believe that you are a hybrid. I think that you are in the journey, in the process of still becoming. I think that you have more low functioning behaviors. Seriously. And I think that your thoughts and emotions, when you're allowing yourself to really be you, not Cam Newton I'm on, not Cam on the field, whatever this personality you've created. I think your thoughts and emotions are high functioning when you're being the core of the essence of who you are. And I, damn, I'm just gonna be obedient. And I believe and hope that
Please.
your
speak
babies,
free.
especially your boys, they let more of that part of you that's in them shine and lead than not the decision making. I'm not saying then the part of has nothing to do with decision making, then the part of that has been masked or the part that entertains. I hope that they can, because for them, for their benefit, they can dwell in who they are, which is that part of the high functioning and that loving and that vulnerable piece that you do have that I've seen, just sitting here with you. That part's beautiful. And I think you should let that be out more. Why you don't? Think that goes in with your fear, but that's a whole nother
That goes in
segment.
with
Go
who?
ahead. That goes in with your whole fear of divorce and all this other stuff. But that's a whole nother. That'd be a session we do one-on-one. A whole nother
Yeah,
session.
but those are also life experiences, though. See, this is where I was.
All right. All right. So, question for the panel: is she right about Cam? Oh, I could just put it on the screen. All right. Is she right about Cam regarding him as a high value and a high functioning man? Is she right? Ladies first, because we are gentlemen. Cola, is she right about Cam regarding him as a high value and high functioning man?
I'm gonna go with no.
All right. Derek at Derek Bain TikTok.
I love this show, but I sure can't wait till we done with her. Uh,
You sound like
I don't
Fresh
like
when we
her
was doing Zoe Williams.
I don't like her definition of nothing. So I'm just gonna go with no for now.
All right, to those. Vulcan.
On the high value part, yes, he's a high value for sure. And what I mean by that is around the world and in America, majority of women are going to value him and see him as a potential mate. One, his height. He's like what, 6'4", 6'5", 6'6".
I see Cola J making faces over there. What's going on over
Very
there, Cola?
desirable.
I would throw him away.
He's not ugly physically. Broad shoulders, his ratio. All this stuff is broken down to a science, everybody. Just because he's not your particular cup of tea don't mean he's not the
True.
cup of tea of the general population. They can break down attractiveness to the ratio of his shoulders to his waist, just like they do with women from their hip to their waist ratio. All this stuff is done in science. One of the most studied topics in the world is reproduction. So they know exactly what we like and we don't like. He has the right height. He's affluent enough. He has charm. He has charisma. He has intelligence. He is definitely higher on the value chart than I am. The reality is he's no matter where he goes in the world, if there's 100 women in a room,
90
51% at least would love to have him. My personal opinion would probably be closer to 80 to 90%. But we don't have to split hairs on that. Let's just call it 70%. That's very high value. Especially when we know the studies show when it comes to dating apps, stuff like that, women only find less than 15% of men attractive. Some studies say 5%. We'll strip it and say 15%. He's quintupling that. So my point is saying he's definitely high value. Not my preference. My people, we're gonna do numbers. We're gonna do statistics. We're gonna do some math today. Let's take our socks or shoes off and start counting them toes. And then aside from that, as far as high functioning, low functioning, I can't really speak that because I don't know him personally. But if we just go based off what we heard in his articulation, I'm just watching how this guy's able to listen to what she's saying. He's not even an expert in her field of study, but he's able to listen to what she's saying, give good rebuttals and good responses, notice places where she's being irrational or unfair, and calmly being able to address it. Patiently waiting for his turn to speak, even when he's being straw man, even when she's deflecting from the point, even when she is assuming things about him that she does not know to be true, making arguments from ignorance. I see him still be patient and saying, wait for my turn. That to me seems like a person that's pretty high functioning. But I don't know. That's my 2 cents.
Because I would be straight low functioning with her.
You're a perfect candidate for that. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I think all y'all said some good things, made some good points. But yeah, as far as the high value, I just want to add, I guess, like I said, my little 2 cents. High value. We actually did a video on this. If y'all go to the channel, Vocal Soulbox, subscribe, like the videos, like this video, other videos. It's a video we have called "Pay Attention." A man of a high value is easily defined. In other words, a high value man is just what's in demand. So Cam Newton is definitely like if he's out and about, he'll probably be highly demanded. With women that's in that facility. So that's a simple way of defining uh, what's a high value man. Just what's in demand. So
And
yeah, so that's a.
men don't have to be good looking when their pockets are deep.
I have to
You
disagree.
will,
They don't have to be, but it helps. It definitely helps. Cause
man, go
That it don't.
open up your Instagram and look at them yachts and look at Butterball Belly,
Okay, that
bald head. He got every Italian 19 to 22-year-old chick on that boat. M- Between the sexes, you will see a unattractive man with money, uh, doctors, and a wife that looks like something out of a magazine. The only time you see a girl that's on a scale of 1 to 10 and she's a 12 and she's walking around with a 3, that's your anomaly. Don't even talk about that. Just throw that in a box somewhere because you normally do not see it. But on the other side, you see it all the time. That's what
okay,
I'm
all
banking
right.
on when I get my wad of money up here. I'm be like, I'm just a old man.
Yeah, and I want to speak to that real quick because Derek brings a really good point. Audience, this is a show about critical thinking. This is a show about having a way of arming yourself against people's sophistry, unreasonable perspectives. And one of the major things, one tell sign of somebody, one telltale sign, as they say, of somebody who's trying to beguile you with sophistry and shifty language is when they want to make a point based on the minority. Not everybody thinks that way. I don't care if he has money. That's not an argument. We're not talking about each individual's perspective. We're saying in the broader society, it'd be like me saying, in general, women are more organized than men. Am I saying every woman's more organized than every man? Not saying that. I'm just saying in general, more than 51%, that's the case. So anytime somebody trying to make a point or a point and going to the minority group,
When I see
I
I'm
mean, it
wrong,
says treat an older man as a father.
yeah,
And
but
I don't, when I looked at the video, I can't necessarily say he did that. Although I get what he was trying to say. And I think that's what makes it kind of tough to really judge for me. Cause I get what, like, I think we all saw the same thing there, but I'm just like, what was the delivery like? Is that really